Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Welcome, you good misfits, to Season 4, Episode 3. How y'all going?
They're misfits. They're great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Misfits.
It's like
No,
to everyone that doesn't fit in. Hi.
no, I've been watching Misfits lately.
That's a great show.
Last night. It's a great show, it is.
Oh, I forgot about Misfits. I reckon
It's
I watched
good.
season 1 and then just
Look,
fell off a cliff.
look, I'm only in Season 1 and it is a great show.
Oh, it's so fucking good. Like,
It
I
is.
remember watching that on burnt DVDs in Bali. You know, like you go down to the DVD store where it's like they just ripped off all the mainstream stuff and burnt it. You buy it for like $1.
Someone's got a camera in the movie theatre.
Well, that's how I watched it because your missus gave them to me to watch. Those must have been the CDs.
Yeah, that's the ones.
The
Yeah.
DVDs. I don't know if I gave them back or not.
Oh, probably not.
That's probably why I've only watched one season.
Mate, it's on pay TV. Get around it. Anyway, welcome back to Send It Mate, dude and dudettes. I'm Josh.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Ryan. I'm just hanging my head in shame at the moment because I feel like I'm missing out.
Well, this brings us
I'm
to
not there.
our point of interest, actually.
Well, yes. And
this week.
Ryan sounds like shit for two reasons.
Yeah.
One, he's on video link, not live with us.
He's not. He's not.
And
Yeah, in
two,
case you couldn't tell from the sound of my sultry voice,
what's bloody wrong with you?
I have the COVID.
Whoa!
Oh, fuck!
He's got the
The
space
Rona
AIDS.
got me. I don't know. It's weird. Like the whole family got it, but segregated, isolated, house arrest, all that. I don't have any symptoms though. Like we got a bit of a snotty nose today, like day 3, but that's about it. But that I don't know if that's hay fever or not. But
You sound
I know,
nasally.
Yeah, you sound nasal as.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got a bit of a blockage, but I feel fine. Like I had a workout today. I'm cleaning the house, doing all the bits and bobs around it. Like I don't.
I do feel
Other than the
like
nasally sound, I feel pretty good.
I feel like you need a Glen 20 air house before we record there next time.
No, I'm in the process of bleaching everything.
Bleaching.
Just
Bleeding
like,
your
literally
asshole?
bleaching. Like I've burnt my hair. I burnt the tops of my knuckles from having too much bleach over the top, like pouring in the bucket.
I'm going to give you a
Bleach
helpful
got on
tip, man. You actually, water it down, bleach, yeah?
Oh yeah, I know. I didn't realise it was on my knuckles because I poured it in, it spilled on my knuckles, and I spent 2 hours cleaning with it on there, and then looked down, and it all fucking red. So
Just
I
put,
suppose that's a bit of an ND in itself.
That's quite funny because I used to bleach my room when I lived on base for room inspections, and I never used to water it down or anything like that. And
Wow.
and like this actually comes to two things. I like the smell of bleach, but I also have this.
Is that because you're all jacking off in your room and it's like an association thing now?
No,
Because you're like, your room smells like bleach and you keep whacking off into it and you're like, now you get off on it.
no, it's just I like to be clean, but I also like the smell of mothballs because my grandmother used to put mothballs. She was like, old as fuck. And she used to put mothballs all around the house. So you'd go over to Granny's house and it would stink like mothballs. And you'd be like, yeah, it's a smell of cleanliness.
Oh, there's definitely a joke about you jerking off in your grandma's house in there somewhere as well.
No, I can't say I ever cranked down on the...
Not even in the cupboard where the mothballs were?
No.
Come on.
I can't say. And I did live at my grandmother's house for a while, actually. So, yeah, it's surprising.
Well, I have two stories about bleach. So the first one is my mum always used to, speaking of you cleaning with a bleach, mum always used to clean the laundry floor with bleach.
Mm.
And, of course, when I was a teenager, I just fucking dumped my clothes in the laundry for them to get washed until such point as I did my own washing. But I feel what prompted me to start doing my own washing was Mum cleaned the bathroom floor with bleach, so my clothes would just end up tie-dyed all the time. Because she'd just be, I'd just chuck them on a wet bleached floor.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how tie-dye became fashionable.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Mum did that on purpose, so I started doing my own washing, but it just used to fucking shit me because I put my favourite shirt in the laundry, look at it the next day after it had been washed, and there's a fucking bleach patch in it.
At least your mum did washing, all right? Like, not did your own washing or anything like that. At least you did washing. My mother didn't do washing.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Story number 2, my sister drank bleach once.
Really?
What the fuck?
Boy.
I hope she was little and it wasn't like a fuck the world and then go for a chug.
She would have been maybe 4 or 5, I reckon. And she thought it was cordial.
Bleach was cordial.
She thought...
She clearly didn't read the label.
Yes. She thought it was cordial, like lemon... I think it was lemon bleach and she thought it was lemon cordial. So she's just taken a swig and she swallowed a little bit of it. But, yeah, she was violently sick.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I was going to say, like, was she all right? How long was she sick for?
Oh, I think she just, like, vomited everywhere for a while and it sort of burned her throat a bit. But,
like, she is not as sick as you.
I can't remember if she went to hospital or not. But, no, she's still not as sick as me.
Well, I've got to ask Ron. So, the no symptoms.
Yeah, back to COVID.
You're doing all right. How's your family?
Oh, I'm fine. The misso's not. No, so we're at separate houses at the moment because, things and stuff. But my son had it and he was sort of on and off, like feverish and super tired for about a day or two, but then bounced back pretty easily. Mm-hmm. And then the missus had it and she's been wiped like for the last 3 days, hasn't got out of bed. So it's like it's unpredictable how you respond to it.
Do you know what strain you have?
No, they don't test for strain. So, which is another question about how they know the stats and what strain it is.
Doesn't the rat test just show, like, if you got a cold positive result?
I don't know. I didn't do a rat test because the missus tested positive first, and then I skipped the whole rat test. And I was like, well, she's got it. I probably definitely got it, despite feeling all right. I was geared up to go to work and everything. I ended up flicking a text out to the guys I was meeting on site, just saying, look, I'm going to go get tested today. This is the story. Like, yeah, no worries. And then came back positive. I'm like, oh, no fucking way.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah, it affects everyone differently. I was lucky enough to not be affected as much. I mean, touch wood, I'm only 3 days in from being tested. I could have had it a smidgen longer than that, but I reckon that the harsh symptoms typically only last about 3 days. So I reckon I'll be right.
Yeah, it's
the net has tightened, as you said, Josh. The
net is yeah, that's right.
That's what I keep saying.
Everyone's getting infected.
I've got a couple of friends now that have tested. Well, we have a couple of friends now that have tested positive or had to go into ISO or whatever. And I feel like the net is tightening. It certainly is. But I have a strict regime on how I beat the COVID.
Bleach yourself every
How's
night?
that?
No, you have the whitest asshole ever, by the way.
You have the. How do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know that?
Because he bleaches it and sends me photos.
But no, I do a bit of a strict regime with my vitamins, actually. So I take vitamin C, I take garlic and horseradish, I take vitamin D and milk thistle and omega-3. And that's my little concoction that I tell myself will keep the COVID at bay.
You're fucking rolling into Rogan territory now, mate. Just like, look at me, I'll beat the Rona with my little concoctions.
Look, I'm not saying I'll beat it, or I actually think I had it like way back when I first started. No,
it's funny you say that because I was actually saying to the missus before, I reckon, because I was working in the hospital when it first came out, and that was where all the severe cases were. I was working in literally meters from those people. And then I got terribly sick for about a week. Mm-hmm. And this is before all the testing got rolled out and we didn't think anything of it. So I'm convinced that I've already had it. And that's probably why my symptoms aren't as bad as well.
Yeah.
Definitely plays into it.
I reckon that's a likely possibility, to be honest, man. Because I think the same thing. I think I had it early on and, before the testing and everything like that. And I've never, ever been sick at night with a cold and had a fever. Never, not once in my life. And one particular time I was feverish at night and I haven't caught it since, even though the net seems to be tightening around me and people seem to be getting it, our close friends and that,
we could have it now, Josh.
We could.
We could. We saw him last
You wouldn't even know.
We saw him a week ago.
We did, which is disturbing. but yeah.
But if we have it, we are completely asymptomatic.
Yeah. So, and I have not changed anything I've done, so there's a lot of COVID going around.
Well, maybe you do have it and you're asymptomatic, and then your dog got it, and that's why your dog can't eat red meat.
Oh yeah, we learned something today. Caleb's dog is allergic to red meat.
He's not allergic.
That's the words you said.
No, I said he gets itchy.
You said allergic.
He gets a rash from eating red meat.
Like in his diet, we've narrowed all these different things down. And when he eats a lot of red meat, like last time I gave him a heap of venison, he just fucking itched himself, like scratched all day. And it was, the vet's like, just try him off red meat. And his biscuits he eats are fish based and he doesn't scratch anywhere near as much now.
He is more like a cat than a dog. I will give him that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Would you say he's a pescatarian then?
It annoys the shit out of me because, like, I'm used to having big dogs growing up, like bull mastiffs, and you just, like, you feed them anything, and it doesn't matter. Like, I've had dogs where they'll come and eat the ice cream out of your hand, including the stick. Like, just feed them whatever, they don't care. And then this thing, a miniature dachshund, like, no red meat, no this, no that, upset his little stomach.
Having said that, Ryan's sister had a German Shepherd that died after eating a sausage, I believe.
Apparently there's some genetics involved with that.
Ah.
So, they sent it off for an autopsy and there was apparently some heart failure thing that was common with the line of genetics that dog came from.
Ah.
So, a stupidly expensive show dog that they didn't use as a show dog, but was like the household pet.
That's disturbing, man, because Bear's part of that bloodline. My dog.
Your dog is the son of that dog.
Yeah, and I feed him like everything. It's just if it's on the floor, it's yours, bud.
That's
like, I guess that's nature. Like you don't really know, you can't tell.
That's like humans, though. Like who did you know who had a fucking peanut allergy before like 2000?
No one, because peanut butter was a staple diet of every kid in the 80s.
It's funny you say that because I was reading an article about the new, like the process to develop an immunity to nut allergies in kids that are allergic to it. And it's a thing, like they start with microdosing and they build their way up, and then eventually they can eat not whatever they want, but within reason, they can have nuts around them and not die of anaphylaxis. So I think that not having peanuts in the house, personally, this has got no scientific backing at all, but my opinion is that if you're not eating nuts at a young age, you don't get that exposure to it, and then when you're exposed to it as an older child...
Hopefully your mum has just a balanced diet and eats everything while she's
pregnant. That's the thing, yeah. So if you're one of those kids that just eats bread and jam, you're fucked.
Well, I think there is a bit of I guess, science behind that madness, man, because I was reading an article and I believe it's something coming out of Queensland, a study coming out of Queensland, and they're actually trialling micro dosing people with like allergic reactions and I believe it includes celiac, and they pretty much are micro dosing the patients over a long period of time, and it is building their immune system to the point where it's tolerable for their body. I'm not saying that this is the be-all and end-all, but I've read something about it, and I'm sure our favourite doctor on this podcast could elaborate.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to get him in on, just to understand. But that methodology of overcoming an allergy is not old science. I just guess, I don't know enough about it to comment, but with an education, but I'd say that you'd think that it's transferable. Like if it works for one thing,
it's true, because like if you ate in my household when I was a kid, chances are you were eating food that was at least.
Look on Caleb's face.
Yeah, like the food was at least 2 years out of date.
I mean, you got a lot of carbon in your diet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe that's why you're hardly ever sick, Josh. Your immune system just had a right fucking kicking when you were a kid.
Dead set, man. I think Caleb pulled out. It was a jar of something when we were kids, and just for shits and gigs, he looked at the date. And yeah, it was like 2 years out of date. And that was like...
No. That was older than us, bro.
Oh.
That was 2 years older than us.
Yeah, well, there you go.
We're born in 1987. This had a date of 1985.
But you and I barely get sick.
That is true. That is true. That is true. It's back on the eating... Hopefully your mum's had a balanced diet while she's pregnant, and then you get exposed to all these different things. I used to work with a guy who told me his wife... during one of her pregnancies was so severely morning sick and she couldn't eat anything, couldn't keep anything down but McDonald's, right? So her entire pregnancy, all she ate was Macca's.
What?
So needless to say, she put on a few kegs. But when the kid was born, I can't remember exactly. He said some sort of tube. Maybe it was the umbilical cord, maybe something, but it just had a fucking fat encased all around it from her eating Macca's. Now, I don't know how much embellishment's on this story, but I think you can imagine just eating Macca's for 9 months.
I will have like a junk night, and I barely eat fast food, man. Pizza's probably the most common, and I find that I can't put weight on with pizza, which is fucking awesome. But if I eat Macca's or like Hungry Jack's, I have instant regrets.
Instant.
Yeah, man.
Instant.
It's not just like the fatty, crappy taste. Like the chemicals going to your body make you feel like shit.
Yeah, bro.
What about Carl's Jr.?
Carl's Jr. is a different story.
Same. I'll have regrets.
Have you, on a side note, have you noticed how many of those things are going up around Adelaide at the moment?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking heaps. They're like the new service stations.
Probably a good chain to
Are the Shaheens involved in those? Like, have they just got out of OTR and gone into Carl's Jr. or what?
Oh, bro,
I don't think they are. I think they're like the competitor of all the HJs and Mickey D's, but they're taking on the same business model of the Shaheens. Just as many as you can in as many spots as you can and fuck everyone else.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The first time I ever had Carl's Jr. was in Singapore, actually. I'd never heard of it until then. And I had it in Singapore, and the advertising banner out the front, the whatever burger, like, because they've got different stuff on the menu, and their picture was of this nicely constructed burger, but then rather than a patty, it was mince, and the mince was spilling out the side.
Sloppy Joe, bro.
Yeah, like a sloppy Joe.
I was like uncooked or cooked?
No, cooked mince, but it was just like spilling out the side, and I couldn't work out the advertising. It looked like just diarrhea was spilling out the side of this burger. It was foul.
No, man, Sloppy Joes. They
tasted good though.
Like one of the best meats is mince. Oh, yeah, love it.
I mean, it's not a meat.
Well, yeah, okay, cut processes of cut, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I mean, you got your lamb, you got your beef, you got your pork, and you got your mince.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. It's the hoofs, the intestines, all taste good, man.
It's all dicks and assholes and hoofs.
Get a good bit of arsehole and cartilage in there, no worries.
Well, I do like it, and I like venison mince. actually, because you can control your ratio, and we know that venison's lean, so it dries. So you got to put a bit of fat in there to keep it moist. But
One of my favourite words.
but it's
Keeping
just
it
divine.
moist.
Oh,
I love it.
This is a watershed moment. You said the word moist.
Yes,
A man who is used to going in dry has used the word moist.
Going in dry, coming out dry. That's an old episode, ladies and gentlemen. Go and check that one out for some varied opinions.
Going in dry.
it is. It is.
I can't remember what season that was. Possibly one. No,
I think it was season 2.
first episode, season 2. That was.
When we had our mics.
Yes.
Yes.
The first one in crystal clear clarity.
Yes, going in dry. Coming out moist.
Possibly.
Yeah, let's keep going. in
Depends on
dry.
how well you've done your job.
Meanwhile, your missus is sitting over across from us, shaking her head.
That's all right. She's used to the banter.
Oh dear.
Very good. All right. Well, do we have anything else to ask Ryan about his COVID journey?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what I'm like? Because I'm
How's the
essentially
boredom?
under house arrest.
Yeah. How's
What
the
do you
boredom?
think I've been doing?
Oh, 100% cranks.
Yeah, jerking off.
Cranking down.
Yeah, like 3 times a day, man.
Is
Like,
that
just
it?
throwing
Only
a
3?
fucking
Only
beating.
3. Man, I
Hey?
expected more from someone of your size.
Nah, I'm like edging that shit, bro. I'm not like finishing straight away. You got to keep it going.
No,
Jeez, he's
you've just got to go for quantity, man. Like, beat 7.
It's-
Literally,
yeah,
beat 7.
doesn't matter if you're raw and bleeding as long as you beat 7.
It was pretty funny, actually. Overseas, when we were staying at a certain base, like there's this big concrete sort of structure, hardened structure. And
Whilst you were in the military.
you got these,
You didn't say that part of this story.
Whilst we were in the
You're making it out like the 3 of us were just
No.
staying overseas.
whilst we were in
the wank
Afghan.
bunker.
Anyway, like there's like a whole section to an entire room, and then there's a toilet block at the end of every level. But you could always tell when guys were going for a crank because they take their laptop. They walk down the hallway with their laptop to the toilets, and you're like, why else are you taking a laptop to the Dunnies?
Oh, they could have been investing in shares. They could have been sending emails home.
yeah, they could have been. They could have been reverse kangaroing the
Following
fucking
the
toilets as well,
crypto
because that
boss.
happened way too often, and it astounded me that you would do that to your toilet block that you're going to have to use for the next week or two that you're there. Guys would literally reverse kanga. Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like one of the places I used to work, the factory ran 24/5, right? And I found out on night shift, and on night shift, there were just the weird shit always happened on night shift when the office staff weren't there, right?
Of course.
Like jobs just didn't run for some fucking reason. Like, why did you pull that job? There was nothing wrong with it. You should have run it. Anyway, I found out that blokes were having races in the fucking toilets to see who could have a crank the quickest.
Caleb, then
How would they,
Caleb's
how would
next
they
sentence.
prove it? Like, does someone have to come in and see the mess?
Caleb's next sentence is, I put my hand up for night shift often.
Yeah. Turns out Caleb's the night shift champion.
Supervisor.
It's employee of the month.
Get it right,
Supervisor.
supervisor. Anyway, I mean, blokes got demoted for sleeping in night shift. Like, just weird.
I mean, from the sound of things, it didn't seem like it had the smartest demographic of people working there.
So we've just had a shout out to a loyal listener, and she commented they would see who could ejaculate the furthest. That was the winner.
Oh, sorry, did I get it wrong?
Yeah, you got it wrong.
Oh, but I love how you've just clarified with my missus off mic about what the fuck it was. So it wasn't the who could jack off the quickest, is who could shoot the furthest
With their piss or with their jizz?
with the
Jizz.
jizz. This concerns me
Wow.
because I use
What's
those toilets during the day.
actual Fuck.
This concerns me because we're supposed to not be potty mouth this season, and we're just
Yeah, we're like, oh,
Yeah,
let's just
straight
turn it
on
down
it.
a notch. Let's just appease
I mean,
to
it's
those
not a
people
hard
that
and
don't
fast
like
rule.
potty.
These are the stories that need to be heard. Our listeners demand this.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
How,
dear.
like, what, is there just like a line of 7 dudes just cranking away, and then like one guy comes and then it like starts a chain reaction with everyone else, and then they
I don't
just
know.
measure
Like,
it?
how would you,
Like
how
a
would you-
Mexican
how
wave
would
of
you
semen.
run that event? Like, same toilet, and then just draw a line in the floor or something, or just see who's
What is it
paddling?
like if you're sitting on the seat and there's like you've got to draw a line as how high it goes, and then write your name next to it, like you're measuring height, but on the back of the door.
All I can imagine is like when you throw pickles at the Macca's window and just watch it, see who stays there the longest and who all have pickle
It's like
races.
Bukkake door.
Oh shit, these are fucked. Let's fucking move on, please.
All right, we can do that, and I'll jump in and introduce our topic, which is have a go, you mug.
Have a go, you mug.
Have a go in your mug. Sorry, had to go there.
Yeah, fair segue though. we won't ask if you've done that before, but yeah, have a go, you mug, which is a common Australian saying of like give something a crack, like have a go at it.
Well, actually, a mug. I googled this. A mug actually means full.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like or wise guy or fool. Like have a go. Like,
have a go, you dickhead.
Yeah, have a go. Yeah, dickhead. Yeah, pretty much. But like I thought it was like, yeah, have a go, you mug. Like, you know, like mug being a phrase for person. But no,
Wait, where is the origin of that? Like, how does mug mean fool? Like, what?
You know, your ugly mug.
Yeah,
like
ugly
your
mug,
face.
Your face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mug
your
shot.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's inferring you're an
Well, that makes sense.
ugly idiot, basically.
Yeah. And that was the extent of my googling our title.
Speaking of ugly idiots, Ryan, you've got the first topic breakdown.
That is a great segue, very smooth. So my interpretation with have a go, you mug involves a comma. So
Where's the comma being
have
placed?
a go, comma, probably a question mark at the end as well. So have a go, comma, your mug, as in your mug,
Question mark.
as in literally a mug or a drinking vessel. So
Oh,
went-
I like that
went down a
spin.
bit of a rabbit hole there to get to that one, but
Alright.
it's a sort of
Nice
think
use of
a little bit left
punctuation.
field.
I like that.
So when you think drinking vessel, like as soon as you say drinks, you're like your go-to is like alcohol, like drink something you're gonna drink fucking alcohol from. So we'll start off by asking you guys, what is the weirdest fucking thing that you've ever had a drink from?
I feel like we've all done shoeys. I feel like we've all definitely done shoeys.
Okay, Caleb turns to the missus for a sneak peek.
Yeah. What do you? What?
For no particular reason, she'll be leaving the room soon. I don't know. I've actually never done a shoey.
What?
Nah, haven't done it.
What?
Mate, that's un-Australian.
It is, and we need to change that. So next beach fishing trip.
No, right now, take your shoe off. You've got a drink in front of you. Take your shoe off and do a shoey right now.
I have no shoes on. I'm in my house.
Well,
Why
you're
would
in
I
your
be-
house. Go find a shoe. Josh, go get him a shoe.
Oh, you can
We
have
have
my
to change
shoes.
I'm not. Oh, fuck no. I want to age the throat.
Go get a shoe. Do it right now.
Nah.
Do it.
No, I'm not doing a shoey now. I'm trying to think though. What's the weirdest drinking vessel I've ever?
Man, I don't know. Like I've had a drink out of like a horn. I've had a drink out of a trumpet, and I've had a drink out of
Out of a trumpet.
yeah, out of a trumpet. Didn't work well, but yeah,
I mean, like I've used a tarp and collected water and drunk out of that. That's a weird.
alcoholic. You got to put this in context, though.
Oh, he didn't
Oh, it
specify
could
alcohol.
be anything, man. Like it could be the milk fresh from the teat of two cows at the same time.
All right,
2 cows, 1 dude.
that'll be on YouTube. Sorry, Pornhub next week.
Question without notice. I really can't think of anything too weird.
I remember being that paralytic, and I'm going to save face here and say it was other people used to pour people's drinks, empty drinks, into a glass at the pub at the end of a night or the middle of a night and drink a cocktail of whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah.
I've had the old mixed,
Like-
but that's not a weird
An
vessel.
ashtray,
Ah,
done that.
Oh, yeah, that's fucked.
fuck
Yeah.
that.
Although you would know what that tastes like anyway, so it doesn't really.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. The funniest, the weirdest thing comes to mind is I do believe people used to use human skulls in some tribes. I'm gonna say in Africa, and they would drink out of those.
Yeah, that's
Africa
true.
or South America, one of the two.
Yeah,
South America.
I think it was more South America.
one of them.
The cannibalistic tribes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's probably pretty funky. I've seen like monkeys' heads being used. I don't know if they were real though.
What about a body shot out of the club?
Meanwhile, Ron has fucking snot rags jammed in his nose.
Well, I didn't want to blow my nose because then Cam would have to edit that out. So I'm just shoving tissues up there right now just to soak.
Well, I think there's no difference because we've made a point of talking about it now. So
All right,
man,
always
look,
playing at home. Make sure you record this for the wank bake later.
all right, well, I've never done.
yeah, that was obscene. I don't know. I have no idea. What's the weirdest thing? Like a sock?
Is there an angle or like a superior
Have you
story
drank
you've got
out of a
here on,
sock?
or what?
Oh, a Jimmy. Fuck.
You've drunk out of a Jimmy.
Yeah, so when I was a cadet, they used to
All right, you win.
when I was like real young,
He
they
drinks-
used to make us carry in our survival tins a franger, right? And that was for water collection. And you'd have to turn it inside out because obviously it had a bit of lube on the outside.
A
But
condom for those who are still wondering
yeah,
what those.
they hold a lot of water, man.
Yes.
They hold a lot of water and seminal fluid.
All right, well, you better hurry up and get to the part about what you drank out of a franger.
Just water.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it like, did they issue quality frangers or was it like the cheap shit?
No,
You
man.
gotta be
And
careful not to pop
I'm
it?
going to tell you now, buying frangers as like a fucking 12-year-old child is quite difficult. Like you walk into the servo, you fucking grab your box of dingers, and it's not for anything like,
Hang on. Let's
explicit.
back up a minute.
It's
Why
just-
are you buying
Why
them
are
at
you
12?
Well, that was when I was a cadet, man, when I was 12. And so you'd walk into the servo, you'd buy them, and you'd put it on the counter, and you'd be like, yeah, that's right, I'm getting something tonight. But you're not really. You're just buying it for your survival.
I mean, I was
kit.
going to high five you. I'm like, you started at 12? What? 12?
No.
I just learned to wank at 12.
Fuck, I didn't even learn how to do that. I didn't touch my dick till I was 14. You're fucking at 12?
No, but that's probably, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
No, I think that's pretty weird, man.
Well, it is, but it works.
I can't think of anything weirder that I've done. Drinking.
Well, it's the reason why I'm asking that is because, I mean, your stories are way more elaborate than mine. I've done like the old thongy where you use your thong as like a funnel.
I believe that's not a
Someone
vessel.
else's.
It's just a flat fucking
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, I mean, done the shoey, done my probably not extravagant, but my story is that I was at it was a house party that I threw at my house with my old housemate. I did a beer bong. So me and my this is funny. Me and my mum took turns doing a beer bong where the funnel started at the roof of a 2-story house, and there was people up on the top pouring drinks into it, and then it ran all the way down to the front door on ground level.
I was at this party.
Oh yeah, Kayla was there.
Yeah, I was there.
Ironic. It's funny that you're always at the stories. And yeah, it was fucked. There was like 3 or 4 drinks in it, and then I smashed it. And then people started chanting for because my mum. I don't even know why my mum was there, but she was out the front for some reason, dropping something off, and everyone was like chanting for her to come and try this fucking beer bong. And I don't think she realised what she was getting herself into, but she smashed the whole thing.
Yeah, she did like a champ. I remember that.
Like, just absolutely nailed it.
I can't actually see your mum doing that, bro.
Nah, she smashed it, man.
Yeah, like I was taken aback. I was like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you here?" And then she's like, "I don't know, but I'm having a good time." I'm like, all right. And then my mum was there for the rest of the party.
That's how old were you?
Oh, this is a while ago now. This is
Like early 20 or he
early
20s.
it was a couple of years after I got booted out. Me and my mum.
So it
were
was
talking again,
whilst your mum was meh.
Nah,
No. Oh,
wouldn't have been.
I was gonna say, yeah, that would have made some good publicity.
Well, not really. Private resident.
Well, that's I know it's kind of funny though because she was like, "You can't tell anyone about this," and well, here I am on a
Now you are.
podcast telling everyone.
Yeah, that's out there now, bro, for forever. So, yeah.
Like,
Not a big deal, though.
I don't see it as detrimental at all. Or like if someone's going to crack a beer bong and do it like a champ, that's just Australian.
Oh, bloody oath.
really?
Oh, Bob Hawke.
Yeah,
like sculled a beer.
exactly. The Prime Minister.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Prime Minister.
So-
Yeah.
Like this whole concept that like you can't drink and it's a bad thing, and the police like no. Like if anyone's got a problem with someone having a drink or doing a beer bong once,
Mate, old Ruddy went to the Rippers, so, you know.
yeah,
Well,
like Aussie's going to be Aussies. If you've not got a leader who is the same as the people they're leading, then you've got a fucking problem. Like that's the thing. Like, I don't know. That's the way I see it.
I feel like, yeah, even leaders have, like, a personal side, like a normal side to them.
Well, fucking oath. Well, that's the thing. Like that's a good example as to why Joe Rogan is so big, because he is who he is and he's genuine about it. Politicians are fake as fuck. So if you've got someone who's just doing what they're doing and being themselves and they're fitting in around the community and having a bit of fun and it's not harming anyone and it's the typical Australian way, why it doesn't make sense for that to get shat on, really.
Yeah, well, the thing with Rogan is, though, people realise he doesn't lie. So, yes, he fucks up and he says the wrong thing sometimes, but when he does, he owns up to it. So then at least people know he's not lying. Politicians, everyone just associates with telling lies constantly.
Oh, because they do. Like, it inevitably comes out that every politician lies because they try to cater for the minority that have a voice when really if they just stuck to figuring out what the majority is, then they'll be fine.
The problem with
That's
society...
the trouble with politics.
Yeah. The problem with society today, though, is if you're anyone of any sort of prominence, like you're on TV or whatever, and you say the wrong thing, you just get cancelled. Whereas what should happen is you have an opportunity to say, hey, I said the wrong thing, and just move on.
Yeah.
But no,
I think the question needs to be asked as to why you get cancelled. And I think that hugely comes down to the entities that are in control of you holding that position fold to minority sounding like they're the big voice when it isn't actually the reflection of the majority. It's catering to people who sound like they have a big voice, but if you don't dig a little bit deeper, it's actually two fits of fuck all the people in comparison to the general populace.
Yeah, it's arse about face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think all this cancel culture is going to come back to bite us in the ass eventually, man. Because
it's starting to, man. Like it's starting to now. Like they're eating their own. Like this whole cancel culture, because there is no rule, there is no guideline, there's no regulation to it. It's just if someone's upset, then fucking cancel it.
But you're impeding freedom of speech, which I think is important. On a philosophical level and on a moral level, freedom of speech is very important. And you can't grow unless you have freedom of speech. I mean, you look at places like North Korea, it's a communist-like area, and they obviously aren't free to say what they want, and it certainly holds that country back.
Oh, fucking oath, man. Like that. Well, the way that I see it is free speech is an opportunity for people to hear a different perspective, and whether they agree with it or not, it's still exposing them to a different point of view, which could turn the cogs in their mind and then potentially contribute to them changing their mind or having a different perspective, a different understanding of something.
Or
so
changing society, man. I agree, definitely.
Yeah, and that's like that's the whole growth of the human mind, isn't it? Like to step outside what you think is the box that you're in and the way that you see life, and then have an exposure to maybe something different, like a greater understanding. Being open to the fact that you may be wrong about something, and then learning from that and growing from that.
That's very hard to do in human nature, like admitting you're wrong. But it's something that we all need to get better at, myself included.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd rather do that than be cancelled. I'd rather say I'm wrong, and hopefully people can see that and go, all right, he's mentioned he's wrong.
Yeah, but have you noticed, so the flow-on effect from like the whole cancel things is like we're obviously hunters here. The flow-on effect from Facebook, obviously Instagram's owned by Facebook, they're now starting to cancel people's posts and things like that because it doesn't fit in with the company's moral fucking ethics. But yet, who's to say that their moral ethics is right? You know,
that's what they've decided.
Who governs the whole? Who governs as a whole? Like, who draws the line? Who gets to draw that line?
That's like sitting in a room of 10 people and one person starting to say something and then another person says, I don't agree with that, so you can't say it, and then they're made to be silent for the rest of the conversation. Yeah. That's the equivalent. And it's terrible. Like that's not creating discourse, that's not creating conversation at all. Like I think people just need to harden the fuck up and understand that if someone says something they don't agree with, they don't need to try and change that person's opinion. They just listen to what they say, divulge a little bit. If they don't agree with it, maybe try and find some common ground. Like this is going to be harder to do as well because like our life expectancy is larger. Like it all ties into everything, man. Oh, it's very complex. Yeah, you're right.
It's a huge complex matter. But you're right. There just needs to be some basic principles to follow, and not shut each other down. You know, and these companies certainly need to be held accountable if they do, because the only way that we advance in technology and advance as a civilization is forward thinking, and you can't do that if you're cancelled.
Yeah.
True. Shut down.
All of the greatest minds that have ever existed were controversial to start off with, and they were shot down to start off with.
Yeah, and they probably drank out of skulls.
Probably.
Sorry, just had to throw that back in there.
Well, you've managed to bring it back around to have a go at your mug. Well done, Josh.
Yeah, so like you said, bring it around to have a go at your mug. So I've not done anything stupidly crazy other than like a massively long beer bomb, but I did a bit of research into what type of drinking vessels there have been around, like some of them for centuries, some of them not. So I've got a little bit of a list here. So I'm just going to describe a couple of them to you. So there's what's called a quaish. I think it's pronounced quaish, which is from Scotland, which is a shallow wooden bowl with two handles, which was traditionally given to a guest by a host, and I had to grab it by two hands to prove they weren't grabbing a sword. So it's like a gesture of friendship and not being an enemy. There is, and this is one, like, I think, Caleb, you might know what this is. Do you know what a yard of ale is?
A yard of ale? Are we talking a yard glass?
Yeah, like a yard glass, probably the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a bowl at the bottom, and then it goes to a tube and then a funnel at the top. And you got to, when you finish it, like all the liquor, the alcohol from the bottom of the bowl comes out real quick and splashes down your face. There's a trick to drinking from them. So that's actually been around since the 17th century, and the idea is that you're
talking about Das Boot.
What?
He's talking about Das Boot.
It's in German.
Yeah, the glass boot.
It's similar, but it's bigger. So it's not. It's about, I don't know what the conversion is of a yard. I think it's about 90 centimeters or a meter. Yeah,
so like Das Boot, like how it holds an air pocket.
Similar thing. So the Das Boot, that's like the Oktoberfest thing where it's like a massive boot, and then when you're drinking at the end, it all comes down and splashes all over your face. Everyone fucking laughs, but a bit of a hint and a trick for all those playing at home: if you turn the glass when you get to the end and keep turning it, then it slows down the flow and you can drink it all. So
yeah, buddy.
Next time.
We've all been
Next time you're drinking with your mates with Das Boot, or fucking yard glass, that's how you do it.
Is this what we're talking? I don't know if you can see that from where you are, Ryan. The fucking shit. Hang on. The joys of technology. I'm holding up my phone to the camera to show Ryan. Can you see the dude? He's drinking this.
It looks like a massive bong.
Yeah, that's the one.
With a flat end.
And there's
like an open funnel end, and then it's long and goes down to a bowl.
Like a beaker. But longer. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So that was designed essentially to fuck yourself up. The next one is what we all know as the drinking horn. So, I mean, that's manly as fuck, associated with the Vikings.
I get the horn when I'm drinking.
Look, I'm gonna stop there. I tried to, bought a horn and tried to drink out of it, and to be honest, you go to put it down, and unless it's in some sort of frame, it just doesn't work, bro. It's it just doesn't work, man.
What's the point? Hold your drink or drink it all in one go.
No.
Well, that's the thing. Like the Vikings,
quality,
never
not
put their
quantity,
drink
man.
down.
Okay.
Turn it up.
It's one of those things where, like, if you're putting it down, it's empty. So they never put their drink down. I mean, a bit of trivia for you: the Vikings didn't just drink out of horns; they drank out of everything.
Yeah, I
like
can imagine.
glass, wood, fucking everything. There was no limits at all. They didn't go, "Oh, it's not a horn; I'm going to drink out of it." But the horn's been around for fucking millennia, man. It's probably one of the oldest vessels that anyone's drank out of, and it's been in all the sort of mythical stories like Beowulf, Thor.
Well, I've got one for you, actually. And there is a method of doing this, and I would highly not recommend it, but you can actually use the stomach of your dead animal to carry water and drink out of. And you obviously tie off the end and then and the start, and it can hold water. The only problem is obviously it goes rancid real quick, but you can do it. Oh, Bear Grylls did it. Oh, Bear Grylls did it on one of his episodes. Oh, no, it wasn't Bear Grylls, sorry. It was another, I think it was another pommy fella that did his own sort of survival show, and he did it, and he was crossing like the Kalahari Desert or something like that, and he used a goat or a sheep stomach, and he ended up getting violently ill. Yeah. Like violent. I wouldn't recommend it.
Stomach acids and all kinds of shit.
He obviously cleaned it out as best as he could, but he used it to pretty much hold water and drink out of. And let's face it, you eat like the original way of sausage skin is intestine, so it is possible to use the innards of an animal to hold liquid.
I'd say intestines is probably more of a healthier choice. In
really, because that's where your shit comes out of, man.
Yeah, but there's no stomach acids in it.
Yeah, but you're emptying the stomach acids out.
Either way, just fucking wash it. Just wash it all out. I don't care if you use a fucking horse's dick to carry your water. Just wash the thing out properly first. Actually, kangaroo's ball bag.
To hold what? A fucking...
To hold something. Like every time I...
normally that's like a purse, isn't it? That's like
a coin purse. Every time I see a pair of those things, I'm just like... Oh.
We do have this like weird thing where we take new shooters out, and if we do have permits and we're shooting roos, we kind of have this group like tradition where we cut the testicles off and we pop them out and we throw them at the new guy.
Well, first we convince them they have to eat them, otherwise they're not part of the group. But then when everyone flatly refuses, we giggle and then throw them out.
True. Waste not, want not.
Oh dear! One day I will try cooking them up and giving it a go. I reckon.
No, we
hang on, back up. So you going on about butternut?
Yeah, man.
You've never actually partaken.
No, not in butternut. Actually, I've heard it.
I disagree because we have cooked up roo testicles before, and I ate some, and I don't think it was UK. I think it was whoever else we were. I think it was when we were over in. We're interstate somewhere doing a roo cull.
Maybe you were the new shooter and we were like, you put
I think so, because I've not eaten roo testicle before.
Yeah, I haven't eaten.
Actually, do you know what? It might have been. It might have been the first time we went over to Vic on the roo cull, and that was the first time I shot a roo.
Maybe it was.
Joke's on you, because none of us have eaten that shit.
I mean, if anyone was going to go through with it, it'd be him.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, fuck.
But don't knock it till you try it, man.
I will try it one day. I will. You know, we discard a lot of I guess the byproducts of a lot of animals these days. I mean, not a lot of hunters I know eat heart, liver. I mean, who do you know eats like blood pudding anymore? Like no one.
I'm not hard up for fucking meat, so I don't feel the need. But if it was,
yeah, but it's edible, man, and you can try it, and you can at least try it once in your life, you know. And look, I'm pretty open to eating lamb's testicles. Oh, yeah,
ram's testicles.
Ram's testicles. No, it's Mongolia. It's a delicacy, man. Lamb's
when you go over and get your Ordad, fucking eat his testicles,
bro. 100%. I will fucking eat all of that animal. Yeah. If I ever get a chance to shoot an Ordad.
A rotten duck's fetus, a delicacy in Is it Mongolia as well? Is it Mongolia?
Maybe somewhere in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
It's like an egg that they leave to ferment with the body of like the embryo of a duck or a chicken or something, and then.
I mean, the Chinese eat fucking tiger penis. So let's face it, you can eat anything.
Or pangolin, bats.
Thanks very much.
And we're back on Run with COVID. Whoa! What a segue.
Well, look, I've got a couple of different ones here about going back to the drinking vessels. Have you ever heard of a parron?
Heard of a what?
I don't really know if I'm pronouncing it. It's Porron. Porron. It's in Spain. So you might have actually come across this, Caleb, in your travels. It's like a glass bottle with a spout on the side of it.
Let me madly Google. I haven't been to Spain. I've been to Italy.
Glass.
Yeah, it's like Spain and surround. So it's like a glass bottle. It's like a cross between a large bottom bottle and a kettle, essentially. And it's basically you put wine in it or liquor in it, and then it creates like a really thin stream out of the spout, and then it goes in your mouth. And the idea is that you can drink from it without touching it, and then you can pass it to the next person. But there's a thing in Spain in modern days where they give these to the tourists, and it just because they got no idea what to do with it, they end up spilling fucking wine all over themselves and all over their clothes. It's like a tourist gag.
It looks like a fun time, but no, I haven't seen that in the flesh. Definitely, I think it's definitely a Spanish thing. It's a Spanish wine pitcher.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So you can like scull straight from the bottle.
Yeah, there you go. Looks like fun.
So, like the last one on my list is a claret jug from the Victorian era, which is commonly mistaken as a trophy. So it's
oh yeah, it looks
basically
like a trophy. Look at me with my fucking Googling. It looks exactly like a trophy, like you've just won the bloody British Masters or something.
Well, it was like a dick swinging competition for when you're hosting people. So, like, the more fancier your claret jug is, the better host you are. So, it's sort of.
Oh, that would definitely be sterling silver.
You drink out of that?
Yeah, I'd prefer to drink out of that than a wine glass. I have this thing with wine glasses, man, that they're so flimsy, and I feel like I'm going to break them with my fucking potato hands.
I feel like you had a bad experience. And then now it's affected you with stemmed
Dude, with your
glasses.
grip strength, I don't know how you haven't snapped your dick off already.
Oh, bro. It tends one way. It tends to the right.
You must just be cranking away, going, shit, I hope I don't rip it off
How
tonight.
are your balls still attached when you are massaging those things?
It tends to the right. It does. No, but I don't understand how you don't feel the same way. Like I grabbed this, like what, millimeter thick glass, and I just feel like if I put any effort in holding it, it's just going to snap, and I don't like it.
It's a gentle touch.
I will ask a waiter to just give me some red wine in a fucking Scotch glass.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it pains them, but yes, you do that. I can verify. You will not drink wine out of a stemmed wine glass.
I find it very, very
Is that just because you think you'll break it?
No. It feels like I've broken a couple, obviously in an accident, but don't like it. Can't do it.
So if I did nothing but serve you drinks in a stemmed glass constantly, would that agitate you?
Yeah, it would actually. I don't know what it is. Like, I had a martini on Monday, and even the martini glass, I was like, fuck. I basically have to just rest this like on my fingers and not put any effort into holding it. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to break it. And it was an espresso martini, and it was lovely. No, it's not about strength. It's just
so strong and brave.
The glass just feels so fragile, and I feel so clumsy that, well, just don't trust it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, my missus has a friend who every time she comes around for dinner, we do not give her wine in a stem wine glass, because without fail, once she's had a couple, she will go to put her glass back on the table and just like smash the stem into the side of the table and break the glass.
That's what I mean. It just feels so fragile that Yeah, if you even just put it down wrong or, one wrong move and you break it and you're like, oh, and you don't want to break, especially when you're at someone's house, you don't want to break their wine glass. So it's just easy to be like, oh, just give it in a Scotch glass.
So you're just redlining your strength at all times. You don't have the spectrum of subtle, gentle to brute strength. You just have at all times.
Moderation.
Even when he wanks, that's why you can only do it once a week. Recovery time, bro.
Moderation's for cowards, and yes, it just I don't know, man.
Rip it and rip it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
Takes
not about
bashing the bishop to a next level.
It's really not about being manly at all. It's just about being clumsy, and I feel clumsy around holding a wine glass. Look, it's not like I've never not had a red wine out of a wine glass, but I just prefer not to.
To be fair, I've seen him hold a newborn baby as well, and the look on his face, fucking freaked out, like he was going to break it. Like he was going to break it.
Yeah, man. Look, I feel like I can't
the baby's
move.
face was going red the whole time, so that would have been a sign.
Meanwhile, you should see what doctors do when they rip those kids out of
Oh,
their
they
mothers.
are ruthless.
Yeah, man. Like just one leg upside down, like
And I feel that sets them up for failure in the future.
It's actually, it was funny you say that, like babies when they're first born. Like no one told me anything about that. So my son was born with a C-section, right? And I watched the whole thing. It was fucking cool. No worries. And he comes out, and the doctor's done just that. Like grabbed him, yoinked him out, like basically swung him around and threw him against the wall, and he's bounced off and landed on the nurse's table. I'm like, what the fuck? And like I've turned to a nurse and I'm going, isn't that a bit rough? And she goes, no. The joints aren't connected yet. They're like rubber. Yeah. Like you could literally drop a baby as long as it's not on their head, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, you see
that's definitely not condoning dropping a baby.
But to get it, when they're being born, to get out of the bloody vagina, they got to bloody get squeezed and squished in every which way. That's why the plates in their head aren't joined yet.
And I've delivered plenty of animals, and that's fine. And I get that, but like because and it's not my own. If it was my own, I'd probably be like, yeah, it's sick.
Just shove it in the car and crack the window.
Yeah.
Crack a window, you'll be right.
You'll be right.
Exactly. But because it's someone else's, and I actually never got to hold my nieces and nephews as a baby because I was away. Thanks, fucking work. Thank you very much. But I don't think I would want to either because it's not my own, and two, I just felt like your children, Caleb. I felt uncomfortable because like if you drop your fucking baby, okay, it's your fault.
It's not great.
You just be like, okay, cool. But if I drop it, it's a different story.
Dude, I drop my kid all the time.
Everyone drops them at some point.
All the fucking time. Like, well, not all the time. Like I've dropped Archer before, and they bounce.
Yeah. Look, and I do get that.
Or you walk through a doorway and just collect their head on the way through.
Yeah, and I get that, and I get kids are resilient. I certainly
You're painting the worst picture as parents.
Yeah,
it's character
terrible.
Look,
smack around
people just don't talk about this shit. This happens. It's common as fuck.
Yeah, but for someone that doesn't have children, like it feels, it's a strange entity. Like it just feels different.
Alien.
Yeah, I actually saw a post on I think it was Taxo or something on Instagram just before, and it was this baby wigging out, kicking out of its mother's stomach, and she's obviously got a camera. She's got like a bird's eye view of her stomach, and his legs just like full pushing out of her skin.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like,
it's
what?
like Alien. It is like Alien.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Looks messed up. And then they drank out of the baby's skull. No, just kidding. Sorry, I had to bring it back.
Speaking of messed up, so I'm going to wrap up my interpretation. I've got a couple of the modern drinking vessels that have been kicking around in advertised bars.
A glass.
It's funny you should say that. My final question to you fellas is, what's the most obscure thing that people are drinking out of today other than a shoey? Like a served vessel in a bar?
Like it'd have to be like a body shot or something like that. Like a human something.
A human skull?
No. I feel like it would be a coconut.
A boot, a pot plant.
A coconut?
We
Yeah.
went through that mad
That's-
mason jar phase. Like, fucking whatever.
Nah, I want to get back to the mason jar phase.
I'm still drinking out of mason jars in my house.
Yeah, because you finished your jam jar and you're like, what am I going to do with it? Oh, I'm going to save the world and reuse it.
Put a lid on it.
No, just I can't afford to buy real glasses.
Oh,
I don't know.
shit.
I don't think we're going to guess. What's the answer?
No, that was just a question to see what your answer would be. So I've got a little bit of a list here of these are actual advertised drinks online. So you can go to some bars and get a drink served in a tin can, which is like budget saving if ever. Like
Which is
that's
funny
smart.
because aluminum causes Alzheimer's, but go on.
As in, like, your
Yeah.
fucking jar of crushed tomatoes. Like, not
Yep.
jar, sorry. Your can of crushed tomatoes with the top taken off.
Don't cut your lip.
correctly. Like don't cut your lip. You'd assume that they'd serve it in a straw. Like otherwise it's dangerous.
What man drinks out of a straw? That's right. If you drink out of a straw, rethink your life. Have a look
Well,
in
it
the mirror.
depends. If you're drinking up your nose, it's a different story, isn't it?
Nose beers. Caleb's like, what's a nose beer?
I know what a nose beer is. I'm not that naive, for fuck's sake.
So you've got there's test tubes and beakers, which was a thing for
Yeah, the
I've
90s,
I've
yeah.
seen the test tube one, yeah.
that was a massive thing in Australian clubs for a while in not even, up to the early 2000s really.
Yeah.
And then there's like a flower pot. You can
Oh,
get
bro,
drinks served in a flower
funny
pot.
story about that.
Oh, yes.
I had a party in Darwin
Yes.
when I was
yes.
living with a bunch of dudes, man.
My memory just got twigged.
Yeah.
I've been to the same sort of party where
Yeah. Yeah, and you'd be able to go to Cheapest Chips and you'd get a flower pot that was basically an oversized mug. It looked like a terracotta mug, and it had a hole in the bottom, obviously, to drain the water out for the plant. But all we did was plug up the hole and use it as a fucking cup.
yeah, but it was the point of the party. You can't drink out of
Yeah.
a normal cup.
You can't, you can't.
So I've been to one of those parties and I used a coconut. No, a pineapple, sorry.
That is a great idea for a party.
So-
you can't drink out of
Yeah,
a
you
normal
can't drink out
cup.
of cups. So-
Right, next fishing camping trip, that's it. Instead of
what we're
Hawaiian,
doing.
it's obscure drinking
vessels,
vessels.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah.
jet boil.
There's there's also the classic fish bowl if you
Yeah.
go to Bali or
Yeah, I bought one.
Any of the
Actually, I
surrounds.
bought one. I bought one in the last year.
Couldn't finish it.
Nope. Me and Kat had like one swig and it tasted like shit. It was a $40 fucking drink, and we were like, nah, and we just left it.
normally it's rocket fuel mixed with energy
Nah, man,
drink.
it was just like a couple shots and then cordial, and it was just sickly sweet. Can't do it.
Yeah, that's a lot to commit to.
It is.
I'd be inquiring at the bar, what is in this fish bowl?
It's funny
Yeah.
you say that because that's how the missus got roofied by, I think it was,
Well, that's
I think
out
it
there. Oh,
no,
shit.
I think we might have spoken about this before where
We spoke
drank-
about you
drank-
being roofied.
No, it was me. Yeah, I ended up getting roofied. Well, it wasn't roofied, it was ketamine. But my partner and her friend had ketamine dropped into their drinks that was some obscene concoction of a cocktail that was like basically the equivalent of fish bowl, and they didn't end up drinking them. I drank them and I nearly died. So, and that was in Adelaide. That wasn't even overseas.
Yeah, I mean, there's a high risk. Look at the surface area. Like, you could fucking lob a pill into that drink from 3 meters away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you could. You really could. I mean, it was the dude at the bar that did it, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I want to know who the fuck spikes a drink. What dead shit,
Dead
deadbeat,
set shit fucking.
fucking
Dude,
dick
it was-
spikes a
I
fucking
don't know,
girl's
is it-
drink.
Absolute rock spiders.
Mate, this is back in the day when there was bikies running clubs and there was no regulations and like we were underage as well. So it was
Just does
seedy
not
as
sound-
fuck and not the place that you'd be if you're in the know-how anyway.
There's no COVID, though.
Just does
That's
not
right, there's no
sound right.
COVID.
They were
So
better days.
What happened to the good old days where it was just heroin and fucking.
what about the good old days we could just double drop a fucking eckie and have a good time, don't have to worry about anything.
Double. Oh, you're a pussy. Please triple.
That's to start off with, bro. By the end of the night, you're 10 deep and you're looking for the fucking dealer.
It's fucking terrible. Stop doing drugs, you weirdos.
educational. Don't do drugs, kids.
Look, the last one on my list is, there's the last two is light bulb. Like this, fuck me. You know the screw-in light bulbs that you can get for the big floodlights well, they're not sporting floodlights because they're different, they're LEDs, but the old school screw-in bulbs that you get for street lights that were massive.
Yeah.
There's a club that's using that as a vessel to sell drinks in. So you've got to unscrew your fucking light bulb and then put a straw in. And I mean, it's like a fucking crack addict's dream, really. Let's wrap this up for me. The last one is a bucket and spade. That was a common thing where you'd get like a fucking
What do you need the spade?
cocktail.
What do you need this?
Like
What's the spade for?
A kid's bucket and spade, not like a fucking 25-litre bucket and a steel spade, like a
seaside building,
sandcastle.
sandcastle type. Yeah.
Yeah, sandcastle, bucket and spade, and use a spade to like dose out drinks.
Again, why do you need the spade?
It's like a gimmick.
So you fill the bucket and you drink out of the spade.
All right, talking about vessels and spades and shit, how many of you have flogged a glass from a pub?
As in stolen.
Yeah, like you've got a drink and you've either haven't finished it and it's time to go home and you've taken the glass with you, or you just like the look and the cut of the jib of the glass and you fucking want to take it.
I mean, I've done it. Yes.
I mean, I've stolen an entire table from a bar. So
These guys are fucking
Yeah.
criminals. I despise you. Fucking stealing
You've
shit.
bloody done it. You've bloody done it. I'm pretty
sure
sure.
you've never stolen a glass.
I'm pretty sure.
Never stolen a thing.
I'm pretty sure when it comes to criminal damages at nightclubs or pubs, you're probably going to win. I just have a slight feeling you're going to win.
I got a story for you. I got a story.
Is it for us or is it for the listeners?
I got
Is it for the wider consumption of everyone?
I feel like
Do we need to take this offline?
I feel like you both know this, but once upon a time, there was a lad. The lad shall not be named. Sorry. Anyway,
It's a friend.
he's a friend, and when he used to go and order drinks at the bar, and he had to go to the loo, he would just piss at the bar while he was ordering drinks.
Like down his leg? Or?
No, well, you've obviously got the bar there, so you just like you're standing right at the bar, and you're like, I've got to piss, but I don't want to lose my line. The chick starts ordering, like taking your order, and you're like, oh, so you flop it out and you piss, and then you take drinks and you
I
go
feel
back.
like this is really a Darwin thing. Like, I don't think too many people are getting away with that in Adelaide.
No, mate, that's an Adelaide thing.
Okay, you're getting away with it in Adelaide.
I've noticed that they started putting lights on the underside of the front of the bar.
Yeah, that's for shy
that
guys,
why?
bro. Well, that's all that is to stop the shy
Having
guys.
said that, there are some pubs and there is a legit like a gutter system.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So once upon a time,
I reckon you could.
could you do that?
Yeah.
At the bar?
And you got to think, if you were playing poker, all right, like back in the day, you wouldn't leave your seat, all right, for a hand or anything like that. And people would piss and shit and like on their seats. So I figure it's not really out of the box thinking. Just to
Are you talking about like gunslinging West?
yeah, like Wild
guys
West,
with
yeah,
shit
like
in this?
fucking yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure if they needed to shit, they wouldn't just shit in their chaps.
No, you're not leaving a hand if you're like about to win. I don't know, back then $20. Like, you're not leaving the table to take a
Come
dump.
on. No
Yeah.
one's shitting
I love
in the
that.
chair.
I love your comparison. Your comparison's like pissing in a bar when there's a toilet usually 20 meters from you while you're
Right.
in line to order a
Right.
drink.
Have you
versus being
waited
in the
in
Wild
some of the
West.
lines at the clubs to get a drink, mate? Fuck that shit. I'd just piss on the bar and then order me a drink.
Dude, I used
That
to
was
cut
not
the
me.
fucking line.
That was someone that shall not be named.
A mate of yours.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I haven't felt compelled to do that, really.
You ain't never got proper fucking Outback drunk, mate.
Oh no, he's been out back.
Nah. What is it? I think it's Kevin Bloody Wilson said you're not drunk until you've got a shit in your pants and it's someone else's shit. Not yours. Then you're outback drunk, mate.
Now, there's only two ways that I can see that coming around. Neither of them are pretty.
Why do I feel like we're never going to get this podcast clean?
Because we won't now. This is what the people demand. They want to know
Again,
about.
like at the beginning, you were like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna wrap up my swearing and we're gonna clean it up a little bit."
Now we're talking
And you
about
come out
pissing on
with
bars.
shitting your
Mate.
pants.
Settle down. You're not going to clean your act up.
Yeah, I'm cleaning it up. Right?
You're over 30. Your ways are set.
Nah, I'm not going to clean.
You should know this.
No, I'm cleaning this up.
There ain't no change in you.
No, that's it. Put it on a poll. The polls that never
that-
exist.
Put it
we're
on a
doing
poll.
that. We're doing that tomorrow.
Will Josh clean up his act? Never.
Let's make bets. Will Josh clean up his act? $50.
$50. I'll clean it up for $50 for a week.
We have way too many pending bets, like the one where I outlive you. When you die before me, how are you paying me? This has to be something written into our wills.
Yeah, dead
You got to set
set.
up a trust fund, man.
No, dead set. I'm outliving you, and there has to be something left to me that's
Like
of-
in our
of
wills,
value.
we have to leave
Yeah.
something to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah,
And,
Josh, you're gonna
and
die
a
when you're
note, and a
63.
heartfelt note.
No.
Yeah,
Mine is going to just
Yeah.
be abuse.
yeah, that's fine.
Suck.
That's
I was just going to
heartfelt.
say,
Shit.
one of the notes is just going to be a dick. Just a picture of a dick. That's it.
Yeah, and eat shit.
Eat shit, or like there's a dick and surprise written under it.
Yeah, so we have this bet, and I'm going to outlive both Caleb and Ryan. I'm fitter, faster, stronger, better looking. Fucking yeah.
No.
Like,
You've
it's
had a
just gonna
harder
happen.
life, mate. You've had a
Is it-
way harder
It's
life.
just going to happen.
Way harder
No,
life.
I'm pegging you. I'm pegging you at you're going to die at maybe 63.
Oh, fuck
Caleb-
off.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Is he dying from you pegging him at 63 years of age?
Yeah, I'm going to peg the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's
You
it.
can peg him to death.
Josh, you're done at 63. Caleb,
63?
probably good. Yeah, because he's young and dumb and probably going to die of something stupid. So,
Full of your cum when you peg
Caleb,
him.
you're going to die at like a ripe old age of like a 78 because you're more conservative.
Nah, keep going. My nana
78.
was 98.
Oh, if we're going off nanas, man, I'm living till I'm like 96.
Well, I got 98, so
Yeah,
I'm beating you by 2
nanas,
years.
women live longer than men. You can't do that. That's not a thing.
Yeah, I feel like you've had. So I feel like Ryan, you're going to hit 70, and because you're
Mate,
so
I'm not
big,
going to make that, dude. If I live till I'm 50, I'll be glad because my life decisions.
I'm going to say 70. Caleb, I'm going to say you will live
The longest.
to
yeah.
74.
Dude, keep
74.
going.
Nah, 74. And my justification for this is because you've had you're too comfortable that something like shingles or, I don't know, some shit like that. I don't know, a spider bite gets you or something like that.
Shingles.
And you die. Yeah, shingles. Or shingles.
Of all things, shingles is going to
Guys
get
of shingles.
Yeah, fucking shingles. Yeah. And I'm going to hit about 87, I reckon. Yep. Maybe even 90, give or take.
Do you know what's funny? Like, if you go on the current curve of life expectancy versus scientific advancement, if we can survive for the next 25 to 30 years,
Yeah.
our life expectancy theoretically could be inevitable.
Or at least 100. Yeah.
We could live forever.
Or at a minimum 100. Yeah, like it's like I haven't updated whatever is going on at the moment. I think about 6 months ago it was every 6 months every 12 months another 6 months is added on to the current life expectancy. So
Yeah, you can tell that by the retirement age because, like, 70. Oh, in 3 years' time, it's going to be like, 75, you can retire. And the next fucking 3 years will be like, 80.
Mate, those crow's feet don't lie.
Mate,
You look like a leather bag.
mate, when you get up in the morning, I want you to go
look
take
like
your
a
morning
kangaroo
shit.
purse.
And then when you're washing your hands, I just want you to lift your head. Just put all the effort into just lifting your head ever so slightly. Just look forward and then just pause and just look in that mirror and see what I see. And then you'll understand.
Whatever, I'm still outliving you.
Fuck no.
And then I will
I'm
drink a beer
convinced.
from your skull.
Oi, if
To celebrate.
if I do, but I won't, so I won't have to worry about this. But say if I did, say if I don't know something crazy happened, like I don't know, a meteor hit the earth and I fucking blocked it and like soccer punched it and it fucking deflected and saved everyone but killed me. I don't know, some shit. Say that happened and I died. At my funeral, if you fuckers cry, I'm going to come back and haunt you, and then at night I'm just going to sit there and I'm just going to slowly dribble my fucking my piss on your face every night for the rest of your life. I don't want you to cry, is what I'm trying
Chinese
to say.
water torture.
I don't want you to cry. I want you to be happy. I want you to sink piss. I want you to go get some magic mushrooms and then just eat them.
I mean, this is all dependent on what you leave to me in your will. Because I'm still alive and you're dead. So I win the bet. What are you leaving to me? That's going to dictate whether I'm happy or not.
I'll leave you
Or your gun.
I'll leave
And
you
your caravan.
I'll leave you bare.
Your dog will be well dead. Your dog will be well dead.
But I'm going to get Dwayne to taxidermist him and stuff him, and I'll leave you bare.
All right, well, I'm going to taxidermy my dick when I die and bequeath that to you in my will, all right? So you can fucking...
that way-
You know what? You know where that's going.
You
Straight into dude's bums, and I'm going to be like, "You fucked a dude. You fucked a dude."
Posthumously, whatever. I don't care.
There's nothing wrong with having intercourse with dudes. I just want to put it out there.
Nothing wrong with that. By then it will
But you've got to
be...
get Caleb's head taxidermed into a smile.
By then it will be...
And then get his dick. And
No,
just
get his mouth taxidermist and his dick. And just be like, "No, you finally did it, bro."
sucking his own dick.
Whatever. It'll be the year 2116 by then. There'll be no genders. Everyone will just be fucking...
And it's just
Unisex.
Caleb's brain in like a glass jar with a robotic body.
Correct.
And then you're there, Josh, frail and old as fuck with his head and his dick, just mouth fucking himself while he watches it. And he's like, "That's not funny, Josh."
Shit. Hey, Luke, I hope you're at the gym. I hope you're at the gym when you listen to this, and I hope you're trying to put weights away and you just can't, and you just break down in laughter again. So, Luke, I hope you're out there listening next week.
Yeah, that was a special shout out with an inside joke, but okay.
Yeah, sorry. One of our mates said he was at the gym, and he couldn't end up putting his weights away because he ended up just in hysterics after listening to us.
Oh, I can't listen. I can't do anything active listening to a podcast.
I'd do the gym and listen actually to Joe Rogan or us.
Really?
That's my go-to. I listen to us at the gym, and you know what? I actually will sit there and I'll be doing mid-set, and because you don't. This sort of flows into something that my part of the topic breakdown actually.
Oh, hello.
You don't remember what you say on the podcast verbatim. It's impossible. We've done quite a few now, and obviously we'll continue to go. So when I listen back, there's things that you might have missed or you forget, and I'll be doing mid fucking rep, and I will just break down in laughter, and I will have to rack the weight, and I'll take some time out. And it's odd because you'll be in the gym, you got your headphones in, and I'll be laughing full bore, loud as fuck, pissing myself in laughter.
You're the crazy guy.
Listening to our own podcast, and then I'll look around and I'll be like, "Oh fuck, no one else can hear this."
Do you point to your earphones and be like, "This is my podcast. It's funny." And then everyone's like, "Wow, this guy's a
100%, man.
weirdo."
I'll just be like, "Oh, it's obviously something I'm listening to," and I don't really care anyway. But what people think of me at the gym, but that's good. I can definitely. But
I need music, man. I need pump up, fucking high energy.
what are you
shit.
doing?
No, I'm talking about if exercise is involved or a high pace activity. I need pump music. I can't listen to talking. I listen to podcasts if I'm fucking mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, cleaning the house.
Yeah. Just
driving.
passing
Mundane
time.
tasks.
Or
Yeah.
working. Not.
I got to admit, I don't mind listening to a podcast while working out, man. But the problem is you get sidetracked. You do when you're working out, and then it'll be 3 minutes since you've done a set, and you're like, "Fuck!" You sort of forget.
Okay.
But
Hey, your concentration's broken all the time.
it is. But I like to break a mental sweat as well.
Turn it up. All right. Well, are we getting into your topic? breakdown yet,
right.
or
Yeah.
Let's do that. What do you got, Josh?
We'll get into mine. So this week's just more advice. So have a go your mug to me is advice. And like I said, it sort of has come back to the podcast. I mean, 2 years ago, 2 years roughly,
18 months.
we obviously decided to do a podcast. So three of us, and most of you know the story. It's been told before on the podcast that we wanted to do something together as mates. In my mind, we just wanted an excuse to see each other more often. Life got very busy. People started to dive into work, and obviously you both have children. That takes up a lot of time. You both got misses and things like that. So in my mind, it was an excuse to see each other regularly. And we talked about it for years and years and years and years. And we still continue to talk about things that we haven't done, that we want to do. But it came to a crunch time where we did it.
Had a bloody go.
We had a go. We simply just were like, no, let's do it. And we started off from, and I'm not going to say this word, but it's the H word. I'm just going to say shit beginnings with a one-directional mic attached to a mobile phone to record our podcasts.
Correct.
I wasn't even that, mate. The first recordings that were done were just the phone.
Oh, the very first.
The very first, the trial stuff that we did was
the 8 to 16 hours of uncut dribble that will never be released ever.
Oh my God!
Ever.
But imagine if we have you listened back to those files?
No, I want to destroy them.
I have. It's more like a lot of
that is it's diabolical and fucking hilarious at the same time.
There's a lot of more X-rated shit, and a lot of us giving each other therapy.
Yeah,
and it'll never
it's
be
just
released
DNA,
unless someone wants to pay us $1 million.
No, I'm laying it right down now. You would have to pay $50 million for that shit to get released,
dude.
Oh, maybe when we have a Patreon paywall, we might release it later on.
Oh, look, if someone wants to pay us $50 million to release that shit, I'll be more than happy. That's fine. It can go out there because I'll have enough for therapy. So that's fine.
You'll learn some stuff about our personal lives. Put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. We were all going through some hard shit at the time. So it inevitably became mates, just leaning on mates.
It did. And it was although it was a trial phase to see, I guess, to figure out a formula on how to do the podcast and things like that. It was just this massive therapy session, and then some X-rated shit that's just should never be repeated.
Fucking funny though.
Ever. It's like that stuff that you talk about with your best friend. Have you seen the Keel and Peele skit where they're calling their wives bitches, but they start off in the kitchen and their wives are in the next room, and he's like, I said, bitch. And then it cuts to the next one and they're in a tree outside. And then the next one and they're in this field that's miles from their home, and they're like, I said to her, I looked in her eyes and I said, bitch. It's that sort of stuff, man. It's never getting released.
Prob's not.
Yeah. Anyway, so I took have a go your mug as a literal thing, as basically stop talking about it and do it. And that's the last few months I've been planning, obviously, we bought a caravan. It's still being built, and we've bought the 79 and it's still being built. But our plan is obviously to travel, and I've been immersing myself in a lot of YouTube content of guys that'll just travel Australia, or there's one particular couple, and it's called Back to Basics, and they pretty much just get in their boat and they island hop through the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh, yeah.
And they pretty much they took 4 months of supplies with them, and then after that they just pretty much substitute with catching fish or crabs or squid or whatever whilst they island hop, and they just island hop and island hop. Obviously there's a bit of behind the scenes that you don't see, I'm sure they'd run out of fuel because they got this 44-gallon drum as a fuel tank at the the front of the boat, and I have no doubt, knowing how much petrol boats use, that they would obviously pull in somewhere at some point to refuel and probably get water and things like that. But look, they just go for 4 months, and they did it over COVID a year ago, or that's when they started releasing their content of them traveling. And I'm just sitting there and I watch these videos at night, and I'm in awe of it. I am like, because they've just like gone, fuck it, fuck work, fuck doing the 9 to 5, fuck doing the mundane, just get out there, load the boat. The boat's nothing special, which is the other thing that I like about it. It's not like an Evo fucking 5 or something like that. There's nothing special about the boat, and it's just swag. And this girl's quite young as well, and she's a trooper. I think she's Italian, and if I was judging a book by the cover, you'd look at her and be like, you don't look like the kind of person that would do this. But she's just out there giving it a go with this guy. And yeah, they just obviously film their adventures, and it's short films, like 10 to 20 minutes long. And they're going out there and they're giving it a go. And I know I've said this multiple times on the podcast about just chasing your dreams. And I think we need more people that just do that. And Tash last week, that's something that we discussed, or something that I discussed with her during the podcast, was we'd need more people that just stick the finger to the man and just go and live their life. And you work out the money and you work out the rest of it on the go. Obviously, that's difficult with kids, and you both have something to say about that.
No, but I get what you're saying. Like, just people prepared to take a risk.
Yeah. I mean, when you look back right now, and this is the way that I see it, is when I look back and I'm 50 years old, and I've already done a fair bit in my life, and I've lost some of that childlike behaviour where it was just like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's just go. Who cares? Let's just go and do it. And I don't want to be at 50 and look back and do and be like, oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, And having been there before, I want to get back there more. And the older I get, like, the more risks I want to take, the more chances and things that I want to do. It's like this overwhelming sense of desire that I can't shake. And then every night, instead of watching stupid television, I'm watching these YouTube channels that seem to just fuel this burning desire, this passion to do it. And yeah, I don't know. And obviously,
we spoke about this. We spoke about it with Tash, about the whole being born into a lifestyle that you don't necessarily identify with, and then having an exposure to something that is calling you home. I definitely agree with what you're saying. And as someone who has kids, there is ways around that. Like you can do external learning, and one of my good mates has done exactly that. Grabbed a van, taken his 2 kids and his wife, and gone around, and it's working brilliantly for them.
Yep.
The number of people that are doing that, I think, has increased given the whole COVID pandemic bullshit that's going on, because people can't go overseas and can't do that, so they're grabbing a van or a caravan and doing what they can. But I think kudos to you, man. Like, if that's what you want to do, then
that's going to die off when the borders and COVID settles down. People are going to start travelling again, and airlines will start making travel cheaper to go overseas and things like that. And look, that's not the point. The point is if you want to do it, you should just figure out a way to do it. I mean, there's a lot of excuses, and this is definitely an argument that Send It Mate has had internally before. It's not an argument, but it's the discussion. And I find that people will make excuses for stopping their dream and stopping their passion and their desire. And it's like, to me, repression is the worst thing that can happen to a human being. Like, if you just are repressed and not allowed to be you, you may as well just die. Like, I think death is better than being repressed. And stepping out there and taking I guess, taking your life and by the reins and just steering it your own way. Like I had a friend. I'll dive into this. This is a bit of personal, but I was married once and got divorced. But we had a photographer who we had to do our wedding photography, and he was not too old. He was about 40. He had a wife and 2 kids at this stage that I met him. But when I went around to his house to discuss, obviously, the wedding photos, and he had told me a bit about his life. And he went to the States when he was a younger lad and just had a newborn child. And he bought a push bike for him and his missus, and they rode across the States with a newborn child. And they did this for 3 months, right? 3 months, no job, no fucking nothing, newborn kid. And they obviously had a little bit of savings to obviously buy food and get them by, but they just rode across the States. And he was like, it was that good. Their second child that they had, they did it again. So they then did it with 2 children.
Mate, that's resilience.
How admirable is that? And
it's resilience.
It is. And
Caleb's got this look on his face like, no fucking way, man.
Yeah, he's like, oh, have children, motherfucker, and then come talk to me.
Yeah, pretty much. But then I'm like, because in my mind I'm going, but imagine that experience without children at all.
So, yeah, but this is the thing. Imagine with them. And this is something that I don't quite get because you were homeschooled. Yes. And you know that it's quite possible for kids to get a very high standard of education whilst doing it at home or on the road.
Remotely, yeah, correct, yes.
So I don't understand what the reservation is and how, like, because this is something you and I certainly butt heads with quite badly. Like, we seem to be just 2 or dad just headbutting each other.
I think...
Because I know for a fact that at the drop of a hat, you'd do it. And this is something that we've also spoken that we wanted to do was a trip to Darwin. And it seems so small because it's a week or 2 trip, but yet we've spoken about it for probably the last 15 years and it's never eventuated.
I mean, yes, there's anecdotal evidence, as you've just demonstrated, that it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a choice to experience something like that, I'd rather do it without kids, but if it came to the crunch and I had to do it with kids, then I'd make it work for sure. You just make it work, but there's I don't know. It comes down to the situation, I guess. So presented with an option to do something, are you going to make it work with kids or you're not? Like I don't know. Like,
but surely there's something in your life that you would like to do,
dude. I mean, and look, because I'm divorced, I don't have my kids all the time. So I have one weekend where I'm free as a bird and do whatever, and now next weekend I'm just switched to dad mode, and that's actually very difficult to switch up, and it's very hard to coordinate. It's very hard to coordinate the things that I love doing and working with them. So if I didn't have kids and I didn't have a missus, I would be out somewhere doing something every single weekend.
And granted, you have 2 simultaneously. That's definitely got to present a challenge, but it's not impossible. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And
it's not impossible, but then there's also, I guess, look, when I have them, I want to spend time with them enjoying things that they like doing.
Yeah.
I don't
see, and this is something that we spoke about before the podcast, because in the 80s, when we grew up, like parenting was very different. It was just like your parents did something and that's it. You were just there to suffer through what they did. And they would just bring you along and you'd take up a corner and you were told to just deal with it. Like you didn't have the choice to go, Dad, I want to go to the playground. They'd be like, no, we're going to church. Just sit there and be quiet.
Look, you made the most of it. And you and I grew up like in the 90s, and there was this obsession in the 90s with like midweek church services.
Yeah.
And we made it work.
Fucked.
We made it work, man. Like we found things to do out the back, fucking whether it was drinking cups of tea with 5 sugars in it or playing cricket or fucking making up shit to do.
We learnt a lot and we were very creative.
We learned to entertain ourselves. Yes.
And I think that unless you're put into that spot, in that position, and you're taken away from these comforts and things like that, you can't build it. So I actually think it's beneficial for kids to be thrown in that sort of environment.
I agree with
somewhat.
you. And I think there is a sweet spot of age with kids, right? So mine are 6 and they're starting to come into a stage where they don't need me to like monitor them and direct them and provide all the entertainment. They can get up in the morning and play in their room or get up and switch the TV on or get up and make themselves breakfast on their own now. So they've reached an age of independence where if I was to go away and live in a van for 6 months, they're at an age now where that's manageable. When they were 3, that is a fucking nightmare.
Is it though? Because you've got a house on your wheel.
When you're by yourself and you're a single dad, fuck yeah, it is.
But it's a full-time job, man. Because I only see my son every second weekend. And can absolutely relate to what what Caleb's saying, where your perspective of time allocation shifts from what you want to do to you've only got a set amount of time with your kids, and you need to make the best of that. So you try to engage in what they can do.
If I had them 24/7, so as in I had them during the week and every weekend, fucking oath.
Yeah, but I get
my
the
weekends are my weekends.
I get
and
the
they can come
quality
along for the
time.
ride.
Look,
But I have to make the most of my every second weekend with them, and they ain't going to want to come out camping and hunting with me every weekend. They're going to want to do kids things as well.
See,
so there's a balance.
I kind of disagree there. And yeah, I don't have kids, and you know, those that listening are going to be like, oh, he knows nothing, and I get that. And look, every non-parent knows the perfect way to raise a child, and then you have kids, and I get that. I've seen it with my sisters and all the rest of it. But I sort of sit there and go, no, the kid can. You're talking about resilience before, about how the doctor's pulling this kid out of the vagina with one leg and then throwing it against the wall and you know, oh, cool. Well, you know what? Kids are resilient. 100%. And the kid at no matter what age is going to adapt to the environment and learn to.
I think
as a parent, though.
My kids, sorry to cut you off, Ryan, but like my kids are coming into an age where I can do that more now because they have independence.
But you see, you've put a block.
No. I haven't put a block, right? So I've tried on multiple occasions to try and do something that I want to do on a weekend and take them along for a ride, right? And that has turned into a fucking nightmare, and I hated the experience.
This is one thing.
So it wasn't worthwhile.
This is one thing that I've learned is you can't just go, you know, 5 or 6 times and call it your kids adaptable. You've got to make it for a child to adapt or for anyone to adapt. It's got to be repetition over a long period of time. So the first 6 months might suck if you're doing it week in, week out. Obviously, you've got your kids every second weekend. So every second weekend, you know, out 6 months straight. 12 months straight, but then suddenly that's their norm. So my neighbour, my old neighbour, he pulled his 3, 6 and 9-year-old out and he was like, fuck school, they'll learn more on the road. And they just packed up and left.
Yeah, like the difference I think is as a parent, you're aware of the psychological development of your kid and you want them to have the best that you can possibly give them.
So are they not going to get that on the road where they
absolutely
obviously
not. The kid's not going to have the social interaction with other kids and the consistent interaction to develop their social skills. So I would bet my left nut that a kid that grew up on the road constantly changing environments will not have the social skills of a kid who's in a consistent social environment.
Kids need stability, man.
From their peers,
they need consistency
and
stability.
Yeah, but if their norm is different to what you've been told the 9 to 5 stigma is, That's their norm.
No, this is
that's
different. It's a
that's
totally
their
different thing, man.
consistency.
Totally different
And
thing.
it's not like they're not going to make friends when they're at caravan parks or out camping, or you're not going to not make concerted effort to help your kids befriend someone and then make some time to go see those friends, even if it is a month between or 2 months between your travels. Doesn't matter. You're still gonna endorse that sort of behaviour.
But
Caleb,
you
you can't really say that Ryan's correct when you spent most of your childhood outside of a social environment as a child, and your siblings did as well. But yet you were still right. Yes, you still had, and you're still going to get it on the road while you're doing it. You're still going to get that social interaction just as much as you got.
What I would say though is yes, I was homeschooled. Yes, I still had social interaction, but what I had was friends that I could keep revisiting, and a best friend who I met when I was 6 or 7 years of age.
Oh, we're friends. Fuck.
Allegedly. Right? Like how are you making a BFF on the road, right?
Oh, easy, bro.
And I'm
easy.
When it comes to
you forget how easy it was as a child to make a friend. You're looking at it like an adult. You're looking at it as like, oh, I'm an adult. I don't make many friends. But when you're a kid, guess what? You were playing on a playground for 5 minutes and suddenly you're best friends.
Like that.
Yeah, but you're say you're in fucking Oodnadatta 1 week, right? And you're there for a week, right? And you make a friend as a kid.
We have technology, bro.
And then
now.
2 weeks later, you've got to go somewhere else.
Yeah, we have technology now, which is
kids don't give a
You're not
fuck
making
about
a
who
best
they're
friend
talking
like
to on their iPad.
Fuck off.
They care about who they're playing with.
And that's the thing. They're going to make friends at the next fucking playground. And if they're
it's inconsistent. Like, I can tell you, my son struggles with that purely because we pulled him out of so many environments. We changed kindies, changed schools, put him in small social groups. He struggles hugely with making friends purely because of the anxiety point of things of not knowing whether they're going to stick around. And he's said that. He doesn't know if this person is going to be his friend tomorrow because they might leave.
So I feel like that's something that every kid goes through regardless of where you are and what you're doing. And they get over it.
Drawing the line. You got to draw the line between...
No, it's about the effort that you put in as a parent if you're on the road to allow that. And I guess what I'm trying to say is...
Are you going to kidnap a child to be your kid's best friend?
You're drawing a line and you're making impassable obstacles to have a go.
No, it's consistency for psychological learning.
Well,
That's
no,
what it is.
I don't think it is, because there's plenty of people out there that are doing it and done it and showing that it can be done, and their kids are normal. So I don't agree with it.
I 100%.
I
see where you're coming from.
Define normal.
Well, they end up growing up and having stable relationships and a stable job, or traveling.
Yeah, so if you're talking about a kid that you have to try to coax them into just talking to other kids to try and get a development of a relationship, when that child knows that kids aren't dumb, man. They're smarter than what people give them credit for. They can cotton onto things. They know, they pick patterns, and they can see what's going to happen, what's not going to happen based on what they've previously experienced. So if you're on the road constantly, that's not to say being on the road is bad for a kid, because every kid's different.
Fuck yeah, it'd be a great experience.
If my son was on the road right now, he would not cope.
I think a child would learn more on the road.
Because there's inconsistencies in that.
See, that's the thing. I think a child would learn more life skills on the road.
Yes, they would learn life skills. They would not learn social skills.
And I think they would learn social skills.
I disagree with that. I'd even disagree with life skills. They'd learn how to take care of themselves as an individual. They would not learn how to interact with a pack.
But then when their time on
See, I disagree, because you're actually not taking into consideration tech these days. So now you can have TV where you go, and let's face it, TV is one of the biggest influences of children to this day, and it's more readily available. So you're still getting a social aspect from TV.
Hindrance for children these days.
It's definitely still a impact on a lot the social mannerisms of a child.
It's not, man. Like, it's totally different.
And you can keep in contact with people through social medias and things like that now. And some of these kids are smarter than me on fucking on tech. So I think it's a new era where this is quite applicable and almost
You cannot
almost
beat
easy and
one-on-one personal interaction.
I'm not saying that you can't beat
it.
But I'm saying that the interaction is still there. And you're saying that they're not going to get it. They are. You're incorrect. They're going to get it. They're going to make friends.
A lesser interaction.
No, I don't think it will be a lesser. And this is why I wanted to bring this up, because we've had many discussions about this between us three, a lot.
I
don't ever want to put, I guess, an obstacle in front of me that stops doing this. So when I am 50, I look back and I go, nah. Now, kids aside, it could be anything. It could be job. It could be relationship. It could be anything. Family. Doesn't matter.
Is that about you or is that about the kid?
I never want to put an obstacle in front of me that's going to stop me from having a go. And one of the biggest, I guess, examples that I can show both of you, and unfortunately not our listeners, but they certainly will understand eventually with our growth, but Send It Mate. Send It Mate, we had a go. We were in the unknown. None of us knew how this was going to go, what was going to happen. We're doing it, and it is flourishing. It is, and it's great. And I don't want to get to the point where I'm old and go, I didn't do it because Ryan needs to piss. He just held up a fucking note. You could have just said I need a piss.
You should have taken a photo of that. Ryan just held up a I need a piss sign. Well, go piss, because I want to fucking nut this out with old mate here. Because
I'll piss. You guys discuss.
We will. Now, look, I always admire your optimism, right? So all jokes aside, I have always admired your optimism and wanting to give things a go and jumping in and being probably the biggest risk taker of the three of us. I admire that. I also am of the opinion that I don't want to let my kids limit my enjoyment. And it is something that plays on me and my emotions
I can tell.
all the fucking time, because I miss out on stuff every second weekend without fail.
Mm-hmm.
I miss out because I've got them to look after and they're my priority. I, a lot of the time, don't think it would be fair to drag them along to stuff.
But life's not fair, bro. Period.
Yeah,
The sooner they understand that,
I know,
the better
but my
they're
time would be better spent with them doing things that we both enjoy.
Do you think they don't get something in seeing you be passionate and following your? They're going to learn a lot by watching you and your passion and diving into something that you love doing. They're going to learn probably more than they'll ever learn just by watching you do that. They're going to be like, yes, my dad's following his dream. He's doing what he wants. They might not understand it right now as a 6-year-old, but you know what? When they hit that imperative age of 14, 15, 16, 17, where they're highly influential, they're going to look at that and be like, no, Dad, you were right.
You're right, but it's a balance though, right? So like I said to you, they're coming into an age now they're a lot more independent. Mm-hmm. So they can recognize the things that I'm passionate about, and I'm very keen, and I do share with them, and they know what I'm passionate about, right? Mm-hmm. They know what I like doing. Mm-hmm. They know the things I go and do on the weekends that they're not with me. But what I don't want to happen is for me to be self-indulgent every weekend I have them and drag them along to something, and then they, in their mind, because they're not with me all the time. Mm-hmm. Every weekend that they're with me, oh great, we're going to Dad's house and we got to sit around and wait for him to do something. Yeah,
look, I get that, and that's definitely a fucking mix-up. But you've got to also look at it from a young person's perspective, and these days travel and the world has opened up. I mean, 30, 40 years ago, traveling the world was not affordable for the average people. Now it is, and now most young people strive at least at some point when they hit 18, 19 to travel the world. Now, you're telling me that if you took them along to see Australia, that is not quality time? That's fucking horseshit.
Well,
that's
no.
horseshit.
But I'm not in a position now to travel Australia. So are we talking about two different things here?
You got a car? You got fuel?
Yeah, and I also have a full-time job, which I can't just go and travel Australia right now.
You got 4 weeks off every year?
Yes.
Boom.
Right. So now we're talking about an isolated incident. So yes, if I had 4 weeks to travel Australia and I took them with me, then yes, I would make that work and they would fucking enjoy that because it's like a holiday. But if that's your reality, 365 days of a year.
Yeah, I'm not saying
It's a
neglect your kids. Don't get
very
me wrong. I'm
different
not
story.
saying neglect your children. And I get that work is certainly a hard thing to overcome, especially when you have kids. And you've obviously got to have a bit of savings if you're just going to pop smoke for 12 months and travel. You're a smart man. You're going to get a job when you get back. That's quite simple. You are. But there's nothing to stop you going, okay, I'm going to save for the next 24 months like a fucking stooge. And then kids, get in the damn car. We're going.
Right.
Pop smoke.
Well, at the end of the day, do what works for you. And your methodology is have a go.
Oh,
So
look,
when you have a kid and you're in your caravan with your cruiser and you want to take a newborn on the road, have a go. Bloody do it and see how you go. Because I would be very interested because what a lot of probably another thing you don't realise, having not had kids, is women really do rely on their support network in those early days.
So I'm not a support network.
No, you're not a network. You're one person.
You're not
So
included in
you, it's you.
Fuck, have you seen
It's
my
you,
chest, bro?
your missive, your missus, and a baby in a caravan in a remote country town. What's your support? What's your support network?
Me and her.
Exactly. You don't have aunties, uncles, siblings,
Oh,
grandparents. You don't have all that.
I don't have grandparents anyway. I don't have, well, my aunties are useless. The aunties would be useless. The kids on ball.
So
So, look, that's not fucking...
we're all
yeah.
we're all individuals.
Sorry,
man.
Shazza, but you're all right.
If that works for you, man, then go for it. But do you know what? If I had a choice, then
No, you just
probably
gotta,
wouldn't be taking a
you
newborn
gotta-
on the road.
You just got to step up to the plate. No, and there's something that I would like to do now. One, I'd actually like to do it just to spite you.
And I hope you do, right? But yeah, I hope you do, man. Honestly, if you can do it, fucking props to you.
Yeah, I want to stress to people out there that life's not the be all and end all of life is not just, I've got to work, save money to get a mortgage, get tied down in a house, and then be stuck there for the next 30 years paying a mortgage off, and that's my life, and have kids and not do anything. And, okay, yeah, I can do weekend trips, fishing or hunting or whatever. No, if you've got a burning desire to do something, that burning desire, as I was trying to reflect, could be starting a podcast, could be starting a company, starting a hobby. It could be getting into shooting, could be doing anything like that. Don't make excuses. Just fucking do it. You can do a lot if you put your mind to it. And you can overcome all these little intricacies of it's very hard. Oh, I have kids. Oh, I have money problems.
Dude, you can make anything work, but there's always going to be a cost.
But that
I think cost is probably not the right word. I think compromise is a better word.
well, this is the
You're
thing.
compromising
like,
something else.
I don't know if I would compromise showing. Oh, how do I put this? I don't think I want to compromise. This is selfish, but showing my children, my loved ones, that I'm just going to sit on my ass. I'm not willing to and watch life go by. I'm not going to do that. And you know what? I've learned a lot in the last few years with some very close friends of ours, like guys that just get out there and do it, like Richie, like Josh Haynes and all that. And I've, at somewhat they've motivated me just to fucking stop procrastinating and just go do it. And you're right. I used to do it a lot. I lost a little bit, but I was still a risk taker and still do it. But you know what? I want to get back to the point where I was 18 and it was, okay, it's a fucking weekend. Or, okay, I've got time off. That's it. Car's packed. I'm on.
I mean, look, I admire people that just get out there and do it all the time. But what I will say is everyone's situation is different.
But not
So blokes
impossible.
with 3 kids and they're married and they go out every week hunting and their missus is happy to look after those kids every weekend, that's a very different situation to some other people who might be like me and Ryan. We get to see our kids every second weekend. It's a very different situation.
But you can still overcome it though. Like, it's
I think it's the cost. It's the cost. I think actually, when I said compromise, I think cost is probably a better word because
it costs a lot too, man. Don't get me wrong.
It costs financially as well. But if you're talking about doing something that you want to do with your kids and taking them along for the ride, most of the time they don't identify with that yet. They haven't developed enough to be able to identify the excitement and the fun that you see in what you're doing. Like
this is where when you were just off, then this is where I was saying to Caleb, the kids are going to learn and they're going to see their dad following their passion. They're going to learn a lot from that, even at a young age. They're going to,
or are your kids going to
remember
grow up and say, "Dad just did whatever the fuck he wanted to do, and he was never."
Nah, because you're still spending quality time with the child.
It's not quality time.
It's not quality
You'll
time.
know the difference when you've got kids.
It is.
No.
It's
Josh.
not because you're doing what you want to do. You're not doing
Exactly.
something that involves them.
This is what I mean, and you'll understand this when you have children.
No,
But what I'm saying is there is a sweet spot where they can
See, I disagree.
They can have enough independence and maturity of their own to understand.
See, I disagree because I've lived longer than they have, and I know what's right and what's wrong to a relative degree. I know what they need to learn and what they don't need to learn. They don't have to follow the norms of you have to go to kindy and you have to do this and that, and I've learnt from that. I can see what they need. I can give them what they need, and there is nothing better than I can imagine. There's nothing better taking your kid out and showing them something that you're skillful in. They can dump it or leave it when they come of age, but until that point, they're under your roof, they're under your care. You're still with them, and you're still smiling, you're still laughing, and you're still teaching them.
I don't think you
That's
realise
still quality time.
Like, say you've got a 3-year-old son, right? You have a 3-year-old son and you want to go to the range and shoot, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to take that 3-year-old with you. No one else is there. Just you have to take a 3-year-old to the range. I don't actually think you understand what is involved with keeping that 3-year-old entertained.
Look, you're right, but at the same time, I don't think it's that hard for me to overcome some sort of and work out some system that works. I don't think.
But you know what? It's not even about making it work. It's about the impact that has on your child's development.
Mate, he could become the next Jerry Mitchell and fucking shoot for Smith and Wesson. He might fucking he might hate it and become a politician. I don't care. He's still spending time on it.
Josh, he could hate it and then hate you till he's 23 years old.
He ain't hating me because I love him.
Number one, it's going to
doesn't matter
detract
if you
from
love
your
him.
experience.
It's what you do
right?
that counts.
First and foremost, you're going to spend more time thinking about how to keep the kid entertained and out of your way than focusing on what you need to at the range. Trust me, it detracts from your experience so much that you go, fuck this, too hard.
2 rounds at a target is more than 0.
And what's your kid doing while you're doing that?
But then your kid becomes a hindrance, and your kid picks up on that vibe, and your kid thinks that you don't want him there.
It's not a hindrance. I'll teach him. I'll show him.
If he doesn't want to be taught, then you don't want him there.
No, that's fine. We can laugh and
a 3-year-old.
have a break.
A 3-year-old's impression now is dad cares more about shooting his gun than paying attention to me.
Because we can have a break,
Exactly
we can relax, we can chill, we can have
I guarantee you, if you do that to a kid, the kid will grow up resenting you and resenting hunting, resenting everything guns.
So this is where this is why I wanted to bring this up. And look, I think you should have a go and stop making excuses. And that's what I hear a lot of.
Like, these points I raise aren't from any la-di-da. This is my experiences with my son. My son hates the sounds of rifles. Hates it. It's too loud for him.
I've watched your son sit there and entertain himself with an air rifle for hours while you shot.
Absolutely,
and was having a ball.
Right?
Having a ball.
Did. And then when he was left to his own devices and I encouraged him to do what he was interested in, it worked. When he's not interested in, it doesn't work. So I've shot and he's hated it and he's sat in the car the whole time, and then he's developed this thing where he knows as soon as I go to the range, it's shit time. Like, he knows. Because the last time we went to the range, it imprints on kids. They go,
I feel like there's then a better way.
So that means that dad just wants to shoot his gun.
I feel like there's a better way than to relate.
But once you've set that rhythm in place, you cannot change it easily. That's the point.
Yeah, but with repetition,
kids aren't this thing that you can morph into what you want them to be. Kids are their own entity.
Correct. It's case by case, man. So you might have a kid who's quite happy. Exactly. Or you might have a kid who fucking hates it. And what are you going to do then?
And you know what? He may love something that I hate, but I will still make time for him to do those things that he hates.
Or her. You might have a girl, bro. You might have a girl.
Well, nah. My sperm's...
You might have a girl that doesn't want to go to the fucking range and just wants to play with Barbies.
Yeah. What are you going to do then?
In which case... You better wear a fucking tutu, mate.
I believe if I have a girl...
better wear a fucking tutu and sit down for fine dining.
Well, here's the other thing, man. I got 2 girls, so they enjoy more girly things. So I'm spending weekends.
Nah, bro. One of your daughters wears tea parties and shit. Loves dinosaurs and blue, and the other one likes pink and fairy. Nah, I just believe it's just how you put your
what? So am I supposed to appeal to one despite the other?
Oh, I think you only have one daughter, so that's fine.
But all I'm saying, well, all right, then I think we'll turn this around on you and go, you have a bloody go, you mug, have a kid and see if you're still singing the same fucking tune.
Oh, I will.
Mate, I will bet both my nuts and my shaft that his tune will change 6 months.
You know what? Fuck it. This is another bet. I'm going to outlive yous both and I'm going to have a kid and still do the fucking cool shit.
And we're going to have a psychological analysis of the child when they're fucking 18 years of age and go, what do you feel like your dad did wrong?
He didn't give a fuck about me. All he wanted to do is shoot his guns and go hunting.
Nah, it's fishing.
Oh, bro.
It's swimming.
Mate, do you know what? You could have a kid that was well into that. Like, I got a couple of mates that do exactly that. They got one kid that doesn't like it, one kid that's well into it. They have the connection over the years. Like,
can't you just drop the one that doesn't like it off at the fire station, like in a bar?
But that's the funny thing. Like, that's what I was going to say. As they grow, their perception of life and how they're interacting with things and the development that happens there, their perceptions change. So you've got kids that aren't into something that get into something, and the kids that are into something that become bored of it, want to pursue something else. Like, they're their own entity, man, like their own life. You can't be like...
Oh, I'm not going to say I'm going to control my kids, but I'm going to put them in an environment that I think is beneficial to their success. And that's every parent's prerogative, and it's up to them. It's up to the parent.
I mean, you got to define your definition of success. Like, it's success in your eyes. What if your kid wants to be...
It sounds like Josh's idea of being a father is fucking North Korea at this point. Like, you will do it this way, and that is the only way.
No, I'll be open. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I hope you are. Like, you're just being aware of your child is not something that you can control in terms of.
I'm just going to prove you both
personality.
Wrong. And when I'm in the Whit Sundays and I'm fucking hooked onto a mahi and my kid's hooked on to a fucking Spanish mackerel, I'm going to be like, fuck yous.
How are you getting your caravan?
And the kid's rolling his eyes and being like, fuck, I wish I was at home.
Crossing the ferry.
How are you getting your... You're telling me there's a ferry to the Whit Sundays?
I've not researched this, but I'm hoping.
I don't really know there is.
I've got a boat. It'll be a boat. Just...
Oh, fuck. Anyway, Caleb, what have you got?
I think, it's time now that I move on to my section.
On. We're definitely moving on.
I just want to say before you continue, like, Caleb and I have just finished a bottle of American honey. We're on the port.
I don't feel like that's the best chase.
But
you've had how many standard drinks each?
10 each. But if those listeners out there want to know what Senate Mate is fueled by,
are we drinking right now?
Alcohol.
Yes, we are.
I'm definitely going to ask you how drunk you are.
Look, man, I'm feeling good, and I feel like
hit record. This is quality stuff.
No, we're recording.
We are recording.
Yeah, I feel like I could.
Oh, we are recording.
I could argue my point till the cows come home.
Okay. Are we recording right now or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so shit not being there, man. It's so.
We're trying to minimise Caleb's editing.
I miss my friends,
but I just don't think it's happening. Not this week.
Oh well. Anyway, I think it's time that I spoke about my topic breakdown.
Ooh,
Now,
I'm intrigued.
have a go, you mug. Now, my take on this topic is inspired by a trip where I learned something about Josh that surprised the fuck out of me, basically. So we finished with a hunting trip. How long were we there? 4 days? Something like that. Anyway,
Last trip.
so we've come back towards Adelaide. We've gone to the nearest town and we've fueled up. We're all a bit hungry. We haven't had a meal. So we stopped in to a bakery. And it was mid-afternoon, right? So they've done the lunchtime rush, basically. So there was minimal amount of stuff left at the bakery. So a few of us have gone in, grabbed whatever we could that was left, gone and sat down, started eating. Josh comes out of the bakery a few minutes later eating a pasty. And he goes, "Oh, these pasties aren't bad, eh? I've never actually had one." And I thought, what? What the who the fuck hasn't had a pasty? I'm like, in your entire life you've never had a pasty? Yeah, no, I've never had one. What?
What the actual fuck, bro?
Pretty much. You've never had a go at a pasty in your entire
No, bro.
life.
My body's a temple.
So, firstly, I'd like to ask you, why the hell have you never had a pasty?
Because I didn't think I had meat in them.
What?
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense for you.
That's quite simple, man. Like, I'm not going to spend my money on something. Well, okay, this is probably not true because there's a slice that Kat and I get from I think there's two sort of cafes that do it, and it's I think it's a vegetarian slice, and it's amazing. I have to admit, it's absolutely divine. I'm not sure if there's egg in there, but I think it's a vegetarian, and I don't think there's egg in there. It's amazing. But typically, I would not spend money on something that doesn't have meat.
I mean,
in it.
given the option every day of the week, I'm taking a pie over a pasty.
No way,
But
man.
to be 34, nearly 35 years of age, and to have a pasty for the first time.
Yeah, man. Like as I said, like it simply comes down to, is there meat in it?
Yeah, there is meat in them, though. That's what I don't get.
But I did not, like, my comprehension of a pasty was, it was just like, you know, having said that, I love boiled cabbage, but I thought it was just cabbage and
Your kid's
carrots.
fucked.
But yeah, no, it is probably the simple answer to that is I didn't think there was meat in it, so I've never eaten one.
Anyway, so I was absolutely astounded, and I felt like that was just something you should have tried by your age, a pasty. Like, it's just, you should have done it, really. So
What else haven't you tried?
Tofu?
Like, have you had a Vegemite scroll?
Oh, mate, Vegemite, stable diet. Right. Ooh, yum. Bread's
I'm
a
sorry,
bowl.
it's not veggie related. Have you ever had what's those little triangle things that are like a
Samosas.
veggie, like a mimosa? Have you ever had a mimosa?
samosas. Mimosas are a drink.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. That's where I get the idea from. Have you had a samosa?
Oh, from a Chinese restaurant.
Well, they're an Asian thing, yeah.
No.
Wow. Have you had a dim sum?
Yeah, I have, but they've got meat in it, don't they?
Spring roll?
Yeah, but they've got meat in it, don't they?
Not
Pork.
necessarily.
Yeah, because they've got like pork spring roll.
Sometimes they can be vegetarian.
No, they literally
I'm
are
sensing
like
some
labelled like
inconsistencies here.
pork spring roll. Or, you know.
Anyway, I think where I'm going with this is there's some things you should have done by a certain age, right?
Is there?
Now, you're 34, I'm 35. Ryan,
Is bum sex like something that you should have tried by 35?
well, should you?
No, 28 at least.
Should you?
Don't knock it till you try it.
Right, I've forgotten how fucking old you are, Ryan. 33?
32.
32.
33? 32? I don't know. What was I born? 89. 33.
33, there you go.
Oh, fuck, I'm old.
So what I have in front of me is a list of, now, because we're so different ages, so many different ages, I've gone with 25 things every man should have done by the age of 40. So we've got some
Oh,
time.
this is like a have you ever for men.
Spin the bottle.
So we've got some time to do them if we need to, right? Now, there's a ranking system here, okay? And I encourage, now make sure you two have got a pen so you can score yourself. So Ryan,
Hang on, I've got to get a pen. Hang on.
Ryan, get a pen. Josh, you've got a texter in front of you. And by all means, please play along at home. Now, there's a list here, and I haven't come up with this myself. I've plagiarised the fuck out of this, so don't judge me too hard. Now, 25 things every man should have done by the age of 40. There's a scoring system. So if you get 20 to 25, excellent. You've done a lot of things in your life. 10 to 19, not bad.
Hey, and I feel like this is going to be one of those things where most people haven't done it because it's not really applicable.
No, but this is every man should have done by the age of 40.
Okay.
All right?
Oh, like on average.
The
On
general
average,
consensus, all right? So Ryan, 20 to 25, excellent. 10 to 19, not bad. 0 to 9, much improvement needed. So get out there and fucking have a go, you mug, all right? Are we ready to start? And please play along at home, score yourself with that scoring system. Now,
hang on. Say the scoring system again.
20 to 25. Right, so there's 25 things. If you score 20 to 25, excellent. Well done. You've gone out there. You've lived life. 10 to 9.
Okay, so out of all the 25 questions you're going to ask, if you score 20 or above.
Yes. Then excellent. Props to you. 10 to 19, not bad, but, some improvement. 0 to 9, get out there and do some things. Or to bring it
0
back
to 9, you're boring as fuck.
0 to 9, get out and have a go, you mug. All right? Let's start. Number 1. This is a pretty basic one. Gone on a road trip. I think we can all say we've been on
fucking oath.
Yeah, of course. We've all been on a
we've
road
all gone on a road trip multiple times together.
Every hunting trip, go on a road trip. So give yourself a point. Josh, pick up a pen.
Yeah, I got a dash.
A dash. All right. Number 2, danced with a stranger in a foreign land.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan's just, yep. I've done that. Have you done that, Josh?
I mean, the foreign lands that you've been to are
have you
probably a
you could
different context.
Yeah, horizontally danced.
Right.
I'd like to do the horizontal tango.
I'm trying to think, to be honest, because there ain't too many opportunities.
I couldn't. I'm giving myself a point, but I couldn't call what I was doing dancing. I was in a club in Copenhagen, and they were serving fucking Red Bull vodkas. And when they were running out of Red Bull, they kept pouring the vodka, and we were all fucked. And there's some great photos of just everyone just fucked out of their minds dancing in this club. But they were strangers that I was dancing with, so I'm giving myself a point.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Far out. Can you have danced with someone that's not from your country?
No, in a foreign. You have to be in a foreign land. Have you danced overseas with someone, and they have to be a stranger?
Did you twerk like a motherfucker in Afghanistan?
A stranger. So
I don't know what that means.
This is a funny thing.
I'm thinking
us
no.
boys overseas in our FOB, my section was pretty rowdy actually, and I bought this little speaker and we used to Bluetooth music to it, and we were like the only section in our FOB that would do this, and we would just crank the music, and then us boys would just be fucking whoa, and we'd sort of get a little circle going and dance, but it wasn't with a stranger.
Well, then you don't get a point. It has to be a stranger,
right.
and it has to be a foreign land.
Were you all naked?
It was probably underwear, man.
Yeah.
Right. Look, us boys didn't.
We've got 25 things to get through, so let's not fucking get hung up on it. All right, you don't qualify. Move on.
Okay.
Number 3, seen your favourite band play live.
Never seen a band play live.
I have definitely done that.
What?
Josh is
What?
not.
Hang on. You've never seen a band play live?
Well, other than you go to the pub and there's a band that's playing there and they're shit normally. Yeah.
Well,
But
that's a band playing live.
Josh has never gone, oh, fucking such and such are playing. I'm going to buy tickets and go to that gig. He's never done that.
No.
There's a difference between going and there's a band there and going to a gig. A gig is like a purposeful
Okay, so going to the pub and listening to a live band is a point.
It's not your favourite band, though, is it? So you don't get a point, Josh.
But what if they played my favourite song?
Josh, you don't get a point.
Okay,
All right,
0.
0 points for you.
What if they played your favourite song, Ariana Grande?
I get a point. I've
Fucking
definitely
A.
done that. I've done that on multiple occasions.
Nah, it's Carly Rae, man. I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell.
0 points, mate. 0 points. All right, Ryan, I believe you would get a point for that as well.
Dude, I'm 3 for 3.
Same. All right, number 4, owned a sports car.
Oh, fuck off.
Ooh.
Hey, it's a thing.
Your
that-
Celica was not a sports car.
I'm not giving myself a point.
Oh, thank fuck.
Right, yes, I owned a Celica. It was my first car, but I'm not going to say that's a sports car.
Actually, do you know what? I would dispute that. The Celica, when it was first released, was considered a full sports car.
Correct, but I don't feel like
That was a
in
piece
the
of shit.
condition I bought it, it was a used vehicle.
It had been resprayed probably 40 times.
Yes, it was a sports car, but I mean, if I'm giving myself a point, by the time I'm 40, I want to have owned a Lamborghini. So I'm not going to give
That's a
myself
big ask.
well, it is, but I'm not going to give myself a point.
Hear that, Send It Mate listeners? Let's get Caleb a Lambo.
Bring it on.
Lambos are childish.
No. It's my childhood dream. Fuck off. So, yes, even though my first car was a Celica and it was a sports car, I'm not giving myself a point because it was a
I think you're robbing yourself there, mate. I remember being in the and this is all 6'4" of me, huddled up in the back of that fucking thing because there was zero room, and you flooring it.
well,
And I mean, stuck to the fucking little triangle windscreen that's in the back.
do you know it was actually a 4-seater, not a 5-seater, and I used to regularly put 5 people in that vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Like
I
the
remember.
Not even, dude. I think there was 7 people in it when I was. By my count, because you have people in the boot, people in the what was virtually non-existent back seat, and in the front seat.
Well, yeah. I mean, technically, my first ever speeding fine, I had 5 people in the car. So one person in the middle.
Oh no, I was in the car for that.
You were in the car. So my first speeding fine, I flogged it up a road, and the cop was on the side, with a radar gun, put this fucking cone out.
There's a
Not a
bike
cone.
cop.
Yeah, bike cop. They were sitting on the side of the road with a radar. They put this bloody, I don't know, like you see people flag aeroplanes in with,
Yeah.
fluorescent bloody cone thing. Pulled me over. I slammed on the brakes, skidded over to the side of the road. I'm sitting there. I'm like fucking 17. I'm like, shit. I'm speeding. I've got 5 people in the car. Only 4 of them have seatbelts on. Fuck.
Yeah, but back then you could get away with it.
And I got done for speeding, and they didn't check how many seatbelts I had. Anyway, that was in the past. So,
because it was
all right, I'll give myself a
That's
point.
an admission of guilt.
True.
My roommate was in the car in front of us, and he was driving a hopped up. I was like a Holden, what was it, SS or something.
Oh, he had like a VX or VY Commodore. That was the second time I got done for speeding on my P's, and I consequently lost my license. Anyway, we won't talk about that. All right. So I get a point. I'm 4 from 4. Number 5, scored a goal in a penalty shootout.
Yeah, done that.
I've done that.
Yeah, done that.
Used to play junior soccer.
Sports.
It's a shit sport, but nonetheless, I've done it. So we're all getting a point for that, are we?
Yeah,
Think so.
I played Sapsaza soccer 4 times, not even,
Oh, there you go.
and I was actually quite good at it.
Are you just counting backyard soccer, Josh, or what?
No, I played soccer in Trinity.
Oh, there you go. All right, cool. So we'll get a point there. Number 6, stayed up to watch the sunrise.
Oh, fuck, of course.
Yeah,
Done that. Number 6.
dude. If you're having a Halo party, you're staying up to see the sunrise.
I feel like that's just, everyone's done that. Number 7, met one of your heroes.
Yeah,
Met one of my heroes. Well, yeah, I look at myself in the mirror every day, so yes. Tick.
no.
I mean,
Having a wank over yourself doesn't count.
I've done that.
Had a wank over himself.
Wanking over yourself.
I mean, I don't say I've got too many heroes, but I'm a drummer, and I met my favorite drummer of all time at a gig. So not only did I see my favorite band, but I met my favorite drummer ever and had a photo with him and fangirled hard. So
Is that North Lane? Or August Burns Red?
August Burns Red. I met Matt Griner.
Yeah, August Burns Red, for sure. No, I met Dallas Green.
Oh, really? City in Colour?
Yeah, man.
Fucking hell.
City in Colour, Dallas Green. Yeah, like absolute fucking champion of a bloke. He's funny. Like he refused to sign my arm because he knew that people were getting it tattooed afterwards, and he didn't want people to make poor decisions in what tattoos they were getting.
Wow.
Like the dudes are fun. Like at the time, I was like, well, fuck you, man. But then in like retrospect, I was like, actually, that's quite a mature sort of approach. The guy's the nicest dude ever. Nicest dude ever.
Yeah. No, he's a good bloke. Number 8, sold something you made with your hands.
Yep.
I've done that.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
It's my job.
What have you made with your hands, Josh?
Oh, plenty of things. Well, okay.
That time you were a male prostitute and you made an erection with your hand?
Made a table. Sold a table that I made with my hands.
Yeah. I made a wine rack and sold that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm not going to dispute it. All right. So cool. I'm 8 for 8. I'm fucking celebrating. Number 9.
You're 8 for 8.
I'm 8 for 8. Number 9.
So hang on, are you claiming the sports car? Are you?
Well, you told me I fucking am. I wasn't going to.
Well, you were like, I'm not going to claim it because it's not a sports car.
Technically, it was in the day, but you insisted, so that's the only reason I give myself a point.
Okay, no, that's cool. Fair
you
enough.
Bloody insisted. I was prepared to not. All right. Number 9, made a decision based on a coin toss.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's pretty much all of my decisions.
Yeah, Camp Mum. No, I have not done that.
So, you don't take risks, man.
Yeah, no, I haven't done that. Number 10, partied all night and gone straight to breakfast.
Oh, 100%.
Dude, I've been like...
I'm pretty sure Ryan was at the breakfast that I was not invited to.
Yeah. Oh, my God, I forgot about that.
Pretty sure I just like happened to walk into...
Can I tell this story? Can I please tell this story?
Well, we got to just PG it, bro. All right? Let's just PG it. But...
Oh, my God. So this is like... My son was maybe a year old and me and my missus had got... Like, we hadn't slept. We're like, this is fucking bullshit. Let's just go out for dinner. So we've gone out. Gone out for breakfast, and we've picked this like cafe in a shopping centre that's adjacent to a train line and a bus stop, and we've pulled up in the car and walked in, and then there's Josh. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Had no
and I've
idea.
seen his eyes.
Had no idea what I was doing there.
Mate,
no, I'm going to tell you.
Slept.
You were seated and I'd walk through and I was like, oh, it's Ryan and Alana. And just sat down at the table. But what's going on? Yeah, you were like, not much. Where have you been? I'm like, I don't know.
You were fucked. Like you were off your tits is the best way to describe it.
I was well drunk. There's no doubt about that.
Drunk.
Well
Yes.
drunk.
Well drunk.
Yes.
Look, I'm not going to give myself a point because, yes, I've partied all night many times, but I've never gone to breakfast. I've just gone to sleep.
I feel like you're a bit of a girl there.
I've partied all night and gone to sleep.
Having said that,
not breakfast.
You will stay out if the pressure's on to stay out. You will stay out. Like there's a lot of guys I know that'll bail and they'll go home. Like say it like 3 or 4.
Dude, if I'm out, like if I'm out, I'm usually one of the last there.
Yeah, you'll stay out. I've got to admit.
If I commit, I'm fucking the last there.
If there's a consensus to go home, you go home. But if he can't find you, yeah, he's going to go home
For whatever reason. Nonetheless, I've never partied all night and gone to breakfast. I've always just gone home and gone to sleep.
Right, we're going to have to change that.
So,
oh man, that's the best kind of breakfast.
Yeah, no, never done it. I've never felt the need. I just sleep over breakfast. Number 11, treated yourself to something expensive.
Yep.
Nah, never done that.
I feel like you need to give yourself fucking 2 points for that.
Oh, I'll take 2 points.
Well, do it then.
Hang on. Never treated yourself to something expensive. All of your rifles are stupidly fucking expensive.
That's why we're giving him 2 points.
Are you minusing 2 points?
No, because that's literally what he does. That's what he's known for, is treating himself to something expensive. Hence why 2 points. Like,
But isn't the question you've never treated yourself to something expensive?
no, it's treated yourself. Have you treated yourself to something expensive? If yes, give a point.
Ah, sorry. I heard that wrong.
Oh, I've done that.
So, yes, I've done that as well.
Oh, I think we've all done that.
I mean, I have a divorce rifle, so bring it on.
True.
You have a divorce rifle.
true.
I treated myself, boy.
Case and point.
All right,
Point in case.
number 12, had a flutter at a racetrack.
I don't even know what that means.
Have you placed a bet at a racetrack?
Fucking oath.
Yes, I've done
And
that as
lost
well.
miserably.
Right, I've done it twice. I won both times.
Yeah, stop bragging.
I don't tend to bet very often.
I still remember the horse that I bet on, and it was the Green Goblin, and it came last.
Well, that's a terrible name. You're bound to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
All right, number 13, made a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've definitely done that. Number 14, seen a live sports final.
Yes, I have actually.
I've done that as well. Number 15, played in a band.
Yep.
Done that as well.
Well,
Played in lots of
No,
bands.
Josh.
when
So
I
fucking
was
fun.
young,
No, Joe. Oh, here we
when
go.
I was
Here we go.
young,
Draw that bow.
okay,
Draw
so
it long.
I actually, when I was real young, and you had to pick something for fucking school. I was in the choir, and then I actually played the triangle in a band. But having said that, there was in Trinity, there was a like dancey theatery thing that I was in. So does that count?
Hang on.
Was the band.
You're in theatre.
Like a dancey theatery thing that you had to like dance to.
Were you in
you're in
Glee?
theatre.
He was in Glee Club.
I pretty much had no choice, but like, yeah, I guess like I sort of danced, but no, not play. I can't play an
Take
instrument.
3 points off. You're in Glee Club.
You're in Glee Club. You are denied entry.
Number 16, bid at an auction. I've never done that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've done that.
yeah,
Online, does that
Yeah.
count?
Yeah, fuck yeah, it's an auction.
No,
it's an auction.
I haven't done that.
I feel like these are really, really like metrosexual questions.
No.
No, just because you had to be in a
These
fucking
are just-
theatre.
these are
Well, what if you can't play an instrument?
Be better.
well,
You can
then
at
haven't
least
branched
like you
out.
can at least shoot a gun. Like everyone can shoot a gun. Not everyone can strum at a guitar.
Yeah, they can if they practice it enough.
Exactly.
Nah.
It's a skill.
No,
Learn it.
it's just not in me.
Mate, I feel
What
like
she
you
said.
would have played maybe 15 minutes of practice and gone, fuck it, it's not my thing.
No, I'd play the drums when I was a kid.
You gave it a stab.
I'd play the drums and I'd play the clarinet. Fuck yeah. It's a
A
good-
shank doesn't cut it. You
And
need
the
to do
skin
some
flute.
sort of...
Don't forget the skin flute.
Okay, so hang on. Like joining the army should be a question. So you just fucking get 0.
No, this isn't
Join
20,
the
this
army.
isn't 25 manly things every man should do. It's just 25 things.
No, yeah.
Get these out of the way, then you can move on to
this
the
is-
Oh,
25.
what's 17? What's 17?
Cooked a romantic meal.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I fucking did that 2 nights ago.
First time
fucking
ever.
loved it. Do you know what? I'm a big fan of putting on some solid fucking jazz, cracking a nice red, and just cooking.
How is being alone treating you?
Oh no, I do that when I'm alone. Fuck everyone else. But no.
Jazz.
No,
wow.
I've always done that, like, even with my partner, like living with someone
I
else.
like putting music on that people like listening to. Having said that, actually, I do like jazz, and I do know a jazz band, and it is.
Oh,
I'm going to get this right, and I do want to go see them. Just bear with me for a few seconds.
Oh, Ryan, we need to pad at this point.
It is Lucky 7, and they play in
there we go.
Adelaide, and I do want to see them.
Yeah, that's a cover band.
Do you know there's
That's
a jazz bar
cover band.
in Adelaide? Do you know there's a jazz
There is, but
bar?
no, I'd rather
There's
support.
multiple jazz bars in
I'd
Adelaide,
rather,
actually.
I'd rather
Do you know
support a
what?
friend.
Let's do that. Let's go to a jazz bar and get drunk. Let's do
It's
it.
kind of. I actually feel like I could get drunk at a jazz bar and have a lot of fun.
Dude, jazz and blues bars are the best because
Blues, I feel
Honestly-
like I've never been in shackles. No, it's not going to happen.
Dude, every day of the week, give me a metal gig getting smashed.
Nah,
Yeah.
you cannot beat a good old sing along whilst you're drunk, like Carly Rae. Like you can't beat good songs that you can all bellow and be a dick to.
Okay.
and get wasted.
Well, enjoy
Like-
the next Taylor Swift concert.
Oh,
Fucking
t-
hell,
don't
bro.
you dare tarnish Tay Tay.
Nah,
I
do you
will
know what we need?
besmirch
We
the
need,
name
like,
of
we need
Tay-Tay.
a
Don't you
solid-
fucking
solid-
dare. I will break
solid-
my fucking goddamn swearing fucking streak if you dare.
Your record is 7 times in one sentence, Josh.
Yeah, man. That's actual recorded
Tay-Tay.
as well.
Oh, shit.
Tay-Tay,
Do you know what?
shout
We
out to you.
need like a solid, like a blues bar where there's like muddy waters.
Oh, dead set. We should go see Lucky 7, man.
Like you said, like I've seen Lucky 7 before. Like they're not. Oh, they're really good.
Yeah, that man.
Cool.
Caleb's
All right.
like, yeah, I'd rather
Well,
fucking.
if they're your favourite band, then you can like give yourself another point once you go see them. All right, number 18. I wonder how everyone's going at home, by the way. Number 18, lived in a different country.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a no.
I've never.
Hang on.
I've been on holiday in another country. For
I think there's a difference between lived and been deployed.
I threw a wish in the
no,
well.
no, he's
Nah.
lived in another country.
Lived it, bro.
I'm happy to give him a point.
Yeah.
He's been deployed to another country, but yeah, he lived there.
I lived there for a long time.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that one.
No, okay, so let's put it on this. Like, if you're with a chick for 3 months, you can take half of your shit. If you were in a country
6
for
months,
more
bro,
than
not
6
3.
months.
3 months domestic relationship.
No,
You've
it's
been
6.
ripped off then.
No, 3 or even 6.
What have you been reading?
If you've been in a country for longer than all right, well, consensus says 6. That's it. You've lived there, so I've lived there.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
You-
No, I'm happy to give you a point. You've lived in another country. I've only been on holiday in other
I'm
countries.
giving it.
Okay.
Wasn't a holiday.
I've only been abroad for a
I
month.
think living in another country means that you have taken on.
I made a
customs and
shelf.
Dress.
I made a shelf. I spoke a bit of fucking local dialect.
How do
you know.
you say? Where is the local bar in the local dialect?
No, it's like all right. Wateraga Lasuna Putica. There you go.
What does that mean?
Stop or I'll shoot you in the face. Sorry.
Dude,
no.
you were in another country. You didn't leave in another country. That's
Nope.
No,
I
no,
live there.
I feel like you've assimilated. Stop or I'll shoot you.
Yep. Common phrase.
All right, you can have a point. Number 19, high dived or jumped into water.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
yeah.
I've not done that.
Really? When we go to Darwin, when we finally go
What depth? You got to clarify what
up,
depth.
right.
past 3 meters, it's got to be like 9.
High dive, I'm going to say 10.
9 meters. 9
So
meters
10
is a
meters
high,
from
9
water
meters
level.
is a high diving board for like a standard fucking Olympic.
So you're talking about like
Is it
you're
9
standing
9
cliff
meters.
jumping.
Is it?
9 meters. They had one in Darwin on base, and I'm going to say now, I will change that. When we go to Darwin, we'll go to Litchfield Falls, and I will make you jump off of the top of the falls.
Like, I'm happy to do it. I've just never done it.
It is freaky, and all I can say is cross your legs. I didn't, and you hit the water, and your legs split apart. And man, the first time I did it, I swear my testicles went into my mouth.
Yeah, wow.
Not
Yeah.
for the first time.
No, from the inside.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant someone else's testicles.
Yes. No.
They will descend eventually.
It hurt. It hurt. I remember actually coming up, and I was actually trying to impress a woman at the time, and I'd come up and I've ended up just like floating on my back, just like trying to choke
Oh, shit. And you got out like,
hi, did you enjoy that?
Oh,
The worst thing is, I then was stupid enough to go do it again.
Yeah, wow. Sucker for punishment.
Did you cross your legs the second time, or did you just round 2 on your nads?
Oh, I did. Don't you worry.
Give yourself a bloody point.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Number 20, eating something weird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we've all had weird something or other. Which is
Caleb's eating his own semen, so that's fucking a
that's
point.
all right. That's weird. Fucking try.
Ryan
I
looks
ate
like he's
Caleb's
eating
semen
his own
once,
semen
so
right
is
now
that
in the
okay?
camera.
Exactly. Like, give yourself a point, Ryan. That was weird. All right, number 21, giving a speech in public.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Number 22, danced barefoot in the sand. All right, I'll give you this, Josh. This is fucking
Yeah.
metrosexual as fuck. Dance barefoot in the sand.
Look, man, Australia Day, the best time. You go to the beach, you put on tunes, you get gnarly wasted, and you dance on the beach. And I used to do the Adelaide kick on the beach. And
What's the Adelaide kick?
Oh, bro, we will do a video, and we will put the Adelaide kick on Insta, and we will get it back out there, and it's coming back.
Okay.
Show me now. Show me now. Do it.
Nah,
do the
no.
Adelaide kick.
You're not going to be able to see
do
it.
it.
There's a
Fucking
table
do
in
it right
front
now.
of the camera.
He's seated
Do
and
it.
there's a table.
Do it.
Let's do it in video form.
Do it.
All right. No. 23, vented your own cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to say, yeah.
I can't say I've done that.
It wasn't nice, but
Nah, it involved my parents' very expensive bottle of cognac.
Cognac, yeah.
I blended a prawn, and it didn't
You
taste
blended
nice.
a prawn.
In with tequila and
Was it alive?
no, dead. Cooked prawn. Yeah, it was fucked.
Did you get seafood cocktail wrong?
Mate, it's just what a bunch of drunk dudes that have like a fucking
I feel like you did.
couple kilos of prawns. That's what
I
you
think
do.
you interpreted that way too literally. All right. Number 24, drunk a country's national drink in that country.
Yeah.
I've done that. In Singapore, in Italy, I've done it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Do you know what I'm gonna say? Yes, but
Oh, and Bali, fucking, yeah, everywhere.
yeah, I mean, you know what I'm gonna say? Yes, like Southeast Asia, fucking yes.
Yep. All right. Was that 24? Yes. Number 25, volunteered a whole day for a worthy cause.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Easy.
I don't think I've done a whole day. I've done hours. I haven't done a whole day of volunteering for a charity or something like that.
Yeah. Easy. Many times.
All right. Well, add up your scores.
Actually, do you know what, Caleb? I would disagree with you on that. I'd say that you have given up the equivalent of a day on the.
No. A whole entire day. Nope. No.
No, even probably even yes, yeah, because we put on days like with the youth outreach that we used to be involved with in the high schools.
Ooh.
That's
I
not a
think that's a
charity.
yes for you.
No, these were like fucked up, disadvantaged kids.
That's not a charity.
Yeah, but it was for a worthy cause. That's
No,
a-
it
school.
was absolutely a charity. It was
was a
outreach
school.
for.
Do you know what? I fucking mentored one of these kids. Yeah, no, I'm giving myself a point.
No, I feel like I
I
need.
both you did, dude.
I need
we mentored so many kids in with that program. Absolutely, you definitely gave up your time.
All right, I
for that.
gave up a whole day for a worthy cause.
I need another 4 questions that aren't. How do I put this?
Metro.
You say it nicely, yeah.
You
Like-
just want more manly shit. Like, have you killed something with a knife?
Well, no.
Have you killed a man, Brick?
Wait, hang on. Have you not killed something with a knife?
Not a man.
Not a man, but something.
No, but he said a man. No, I haven't. And look,
Oh, well,
like
that's a yes
I've
for
stick
me.
to pig.
Anyway, he's scrambling for points
no,
right
I'm
now.
feeling like there
He's
should be.
scrambling for points.
Scrambling for points.
No, I feel like
Add
there
your-
should be
add
something
your-
else. Like,
add it
oh,
up.
you've spent a week in nature with no
Well,
food.
we've all
Look,
done
these
that.
are accessible things that every man should do, right?
Going into nature for a week.
All right, count it
Accessible.
up. Come
All
on,
right,
count
come
it
on,
up.
count it.
What about having sex with? I don't know.
25
fucking
people at the same time.
Asian beauty, yeah. What about an African love fest? I don't know. Put some.
Yeah, been there.
I was trying to keep this least reasonably PG.
That went out of the window when you open your mouth at the start of the podcast.
Yeah, whatever. Have you had a threesome? Have you had an orgy?
Yes, yes.
Have you had a man fuck you in the bum? I don't know. Like,
Yes.
just
I mean, no.
what's your score, Josh?
All right, 21.
21.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Well, I've got 18. Ryan, how you going?
Hang on. 23.
Oh, fuck. All right. I lost. Well, I'm camp mum, so that's fair.
Yeah, I do. See, this is what I mean. I feel like there was some questions, like actually manly questions.
It's not about manhood. It's just about things you should
know
do.
what?
Have you
before
ridden a
40.
two-wheeler?
Josh, you can't take a test and say, I don't think
by
those
myself, no.
questions were geared towards me.
Have you done a mono? Have you
On a bike, yes.
done, I don't know. Have
Like,
you,
who here has crashed a
Abseiled.
motorbike?
oh, yeah. Hundreds of times.
Or crashed a four-wheeler or less?
Nope. Never crashed a four-wheeler, actually.
Well, Caleb's crashed a four-wheeler, you've crashed a motorbike, and I've crashed a peewee.
There you go.
Together, we are not super bike riders.
No, we're not. All right, so Ryan wins. Ryan wins by the sounds of it. I need to lift my game, get out there and have a go, you bloody mug.
Yeah, one of those things
do
you should buy.
Just
You know
do
what?
the fuck you want to do.
If
Don't
you
knock
bought
it till you try it, bro.
If you bought a caravan, a 79, and told your missus and kids to get in there and let it go on, you'd hit 25 out of 25, mate.
No fucking way.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, just a bit of advice, bit of brotherly advice.
Thank you.
That's right.
All right, well, let's keep
That's
this
right,
rolling, Josh.
All right.
Now, how did you go at home? Hopefully you got a good score. We'll see how you go. If not, get out there and have a go, you mug. But we'll get out of our topic for this week and move into our next segment, which is the new one for the second time only, Just Joshing.
Just
Joshing.
All right, dudes. So I've got a story I have two stories for you actually this week.
And
I'm going to just leave it up to you. Am I joshing or am I telling the truth? So the first one is many moons ago when I was posted in Darwin, I used to spend a lot of my time fishing. And most weekends that I had free, I would scoot down to the Little Howard River and there would be a little boat ramp there that you could you'd have to full drive to this boat ramp and it was very, very remote. Like you couldn't get there in a anything other than a 4x4. And anyway, you could hire these boats. It was $50 for a day, but the thing is over time we got to know the owner, and so he used to give it to us for. This is before I bought a boat. He used to give us it for $25 for the weekend, and that was pretty cool. We obviously had to pay for our own fuel, so we threw in a few jerrys and things like that. Anyway, Little Howard River was amazing, and this is where I met. I used to go there with a mate, Eric a lot, and we used to fish. When I first started fishing out there, we didn't understand the tides. And in South Australia, yeah, we have king tides, but they're like pissy. They're like fucking 2 meters. King tide, 2 meters. Oh shit.
1.8. Fuck.
Yeah, like 1. We're drowning. Fucking the fucking ice caps are melting or some shit. Anyway, in Darwin, they have 8 meter tides that go out 40 minutes. So you've got Little Howard River, which is a tidal river, and you can drive out there and suddenly the tide turns and, it gushes. It gushes. And it turns out...
lovely wet woman.
It does. And it turns out, and within 40 minutes, you're stuck. You're stuck on a sandbar miles and miles and miles away from anyone. Anyway... We were down this one particular river one day and we'd just been given a bit of advice to go fish some shoulders of the feeder creeks for barramundi. So we decided to. We've gone down this one creek and to say the least, it was eerie. So we've gone down this creek. We've obviously hit the turn in, a couple k's in, and it just is still. And there's leaves sitting there on the water and no wind, no nothing, no sounds, no birds, not a thing, except these 2 eyes that just popped up and were just floating there behind the tinny. And they were no more than 20 metres from our boat. And that was a pretty common occurrence. Obviously, it was a crocodile, pretty common occurrence in Darwin, so we didn't think anything of it. And we kept scootering on down this river in the lure for a big barramundi. Sure enough, about a K later, look behind us. The crocodile is still there, and he's closer. He's about 10 metres away. So we start getting a little bit freaked out. We're like, okay, this guy's starting to chase us. All right, let's fucking, turn it up and skid away from him. So we burn up. We fucking ring vow bounce the tinny, and we're scooting a few more Ks. And this crocodile is still following us. So we're like, all right, let's get the fuck out of his territory and get back to the main river. Sure enough, he's still following us. Now, this croc that was following us used to have a name from the locals. I can't remember the name for the life of me, but he followed us all the way to the mouth of the river. And a week later, in that same river, a guy was attacked by a crocodile in that same leg of the river, the same feeder creek, from a crocodile that jumped out of the water as he's fishing from the side of his boat, reeling in whatever fish he's got, and a crocs attacked him. And his mate, who was in another tinny just off to him, took a photo of him, and it made the newspaper. This photo of this croc launching out the water to obviously grab him. So, true or false? We shall see. We shall see. So, the second story. No, I'm going to give you both stories.
What?
I'm going to give you both stories, and then you can fucking discuss. The second story is same river, actually. Same bloke, same fucking damn tinny.
The whole same story up until this little diversion.
Ooh. Same thing. Anyway, so this is many months later, and we had learnt a bit about barramundi fishing, and one of our prized possessions at this stage was called a gold bomber. Now, anyone that fishes Darwin knows how prized gold bomber lures are. Barramundi seem to go fucking ape shit for them. Anyway, same river, we turned off to a different feeder creek, and this was actually the time that I caught a metre 10 barramundi. My very first barramundi over a metre. Anyway, we were down this feeder creek. This huge tide was going out, 8 metre tide going out. And we decided to just keep on going. And it was, I shouldn't say it was an 8 metre tide, actually. It was sort of like it wasn't that big. It sort of come to a bit of a neat tide, so we still had water. And we'd gone in further. I'd just caught my barramundi, and we were sort of all hyped up and keen to catch some more. We went upstream. My mate Eric caught a barramundi, and we ended up cooking him on the side of the river. We jumped back in the boat a few hours later, and once again, back on the chase for these barramundi after the tide had turned. And my mate Eric had got our last gold bomber caught in some reeds. So naturally, as you do in croc-infested waters, you were like, okay, we can't unsnag this lure. What do we do? Okay, let's get in the water. Let's get in the water and get it out of the reeds, and we'll get back in the boat. All right, cool. So my mate Eric jumps in because obviously he lost the lure, and I was like, fuck that. You're in, mate. Anyway, he jumps in and he's like, bro, it is divine in this water. You should come for a swim. And I'm like, nah, fuck it. Anchor's out. Let's do it. Jump in the water. So we're splashing around in this water, in this like back creek, and it was quite stagnant actually, water. It was a little bit sort of putrid smelt, but it was nice because if you've been in Darwin weather, any cold water is fucking refreshing. Not that it's overly cold, but relative. Anyway, we've got the lure out. We're like, fuck it, let's just have a bit of a swim. Next minute, we just hear this, wah, wah, wah. Like, what the fuck is that? Between us is these baby crocs swimming between us. And my mate Eric pointed it out. He's like, oh, it's a baby croc. So we started playing with them, picking them up, playing with them. We were like, this is so cool. And then we realised the mum is never too far away from baby crocodiles. Sure enough, I sort of started getting a bit agitated because of these baby crocs, and we were picking them up and playing with them. Look behind us, and there's the mum on the side of the river sunbaking. And mate, I've never seen two white fellas move as quick as we ever did. We got up and out of that water in that boat and sailed off quicker than like I've ever moved in my life, man. So I ask you, true or false?
So out of those two stories, which one is true and which is just joshing?
Yeah.
I'm going to say the first one's true, and the second one is just joshing, because I think that you've elaborated a lot enough to make it sound like a true story.
So this is hard, right? So I feel like both stories are based in truth. And I think maybe you've just put one fact out of one story that's not true. But in general, both stories are true. So I'm going to roll with both are true.
Really? So we got.
And I feel like on a technicality, one of them is joshing, but it's only like one tiny element of the story.
So we have a.
First one's true, second one's false.
So we have a true and a false and a true and a true.
I think both are true.
And guess what? They're both true.
Yeah, boy.
First time I ever picked up a crocodile was those baby crocs that were swimming between us, man. And boy, when that mum would have been maybe 15 foot from us, and fuck, did it scare the crap out of us. Holy shit. And that first guy, that first croc, yep, he made the paper. Yep, a week after, same river. And we were followed for about 3.6 Ks up and back in that river.
Sheesh.
Yep. And, like, we were burning this tinny. This tinny only had a 15 fucking banger on it. We were burning this tinny, and this croc was keeping up. Like, I mean, absolutely keeping up. And what I think it was, because at this time, the news report was released the next week, obviously, of this guy getting this croc attack. And they basically said, stop feeding the fucking crocodiles because you're teaching them to, like, jump out the water at, like anglers are bringing in fish. And when they're pulling them up over the boat, crocs are thinking it's like feeding time and they're jumping up after them. And, yeah. So both stories
that's the thing,
are true.
like this, it's a similar thing with the sharks in Port Lincoln. They deliberately bait the area so that sharks come in and they think it's a feeding ground and anything there is edible.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you're creating a tourist attraction, but you're also
creating a nuisance, a problem.
You're creating a dangerous area. You're teaching a predator that area is going to feed them, and it's not kosher.
The second story when we picked up the babies, actually, so that when the tide came out, we did get stuck in that feeder creek, and talking about sharks, I actually saw a bull shark jump out the water with it would have been a trevally in its mouth or something like trevally or queenie. It looked like something like that. Yeah, and man, this is what I love about the water, and especially in Darwin, is there was always something going on in the water, and there was crocs everywhere. I mean, I went out to Shady Camp, and I had a mate's boat. He had a Quintrex Millennium hull, and it was too deep to go through a lot of the little estuaries. So I had to get out, and I would walk while my mate's spotting for crocs, and I'd pull this boat through these estuaries. And Shady Camp's notorious, man, for just crocs fucking everywhere. And this is the worst thing. It teaches you to be very blasé about croc awareness. I think by the time before I left, I was I swam across Elizabeth River, and that's croc infested, and it's just like, well, you just become so desensitized over it, but yet they're there and they're a real threat, and they're bloody everywhere, man.
So Ryan, did you say I've done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elizabeth River. It's quite a popular challenge.
When I went up on a road trip through the guts, went up to Darwin, I swam across the Elizabeth River and actually swam onto a croc trap. Me and my brother did the same thing. We knew what it was at the time. My dad was like, yeah, whatever. But there was a ranger there, and it was off season. So typically the crocs would feed and then not be hungry after the season of there being game around. So it was relatively safe. We didn't know at the time. We were just, it's a fucking croc cage. Let's go swim on it. Yeah. So I think it probably speaks to the naivety of being an outsider and coming into that environment. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But
that's the thing. Like, if you don't get caught out, you can be quite naive, and then you get complacent about it, man. And I had some. And I'm going to take you there, Caleb, and you're going to do this. I'm going to make you fucking walk that boat out, and you're going to experience it. And experience if joy aware, and
it's fear. It's a totally different thing, though. Like, if you're we watched tourists swim in croc-infested waters where there were signs, and being I was very young at the time. I think it was like 21 or 22, and me and my brother were just like, fuck it, whatever, we'll do it anyway. We didn't really pay attention to anything, but you're watching people. Look, we didn't see the signs. Like there wasn't any signage or anything where we were. We just saw the croc cage and we went, let's fucking swim on it. No worries. There's no crocs in the water. It's all good. We sort of had an idea of what the seasons were, and
was the cage lid open or closed?
No, it was open. Like it wasn't
open, so
there was no croc in there.
Yeah. See, this is the weird thing. Like, I talk about Litchfield Falls, and it's a series of, I guess, ponds, small lakes, ponds that you can swim, and it's quite elevated. So technically, if it's elevated, the crocs don't get up there. But there's this one pond that's the lowest of them all, and you can swim in there, and it's very, very, very popular with the tourists. And there are croc traps on every entrance to this pond, and there's crocs in the water. Like, I've seen crocodiles with my own eyes in this water, and seen like all these backpackers and that swimming there. And you're just like, all right, okay. They're fresh water up there, so they're not as big as salties. But
freshies not.
Freshies
so
aren't that bad.
Yeah, but they can still take a chunk out of it.
Oh, look, the caimans, their teeth are like needles.
I think that there is, like, it's seasonal, and if a croc's eaten, like, the further up you go, then the less likely, like, the further up you go inland, the less likely it is that the croc's going to attack because they've had the opportunity to eat. That's the logic behind it. So I was talking to a ranger about it, and there's, like, seasons on where there's, like, the likelihood of a croc attack is reduced. And we happened to be there at that point where they'd gone docile, like they'd all had their feed, like it wasn't mating season or anything like that. We were quite lucky. But I think that there needs to be a certain amount of education that, like, if anyone's listening to this that is a backpacker and not from the country, like from Australia, I mean, is not aware, you need to fucking, like, you need to word yourself up about crocs in the north. You need to word yourself up about the beach, and you need to word yourself up about the desert, because Australia will fucking kill you if you're not careful.
See, in Darwin, I think it was more about the jellyfish, actually. There's a jellyfish up there.
Oh, there, like, case in point there. Like, there's like the Australian climate is dead set out to kill people in ways that are not common in the rest of the world. Like, we've spoken about this before, about, like, you've got these big primal apex predators that will kill you anywhere else, whereas Australia, it's the climate, or it's the creepy coralies, or the things that you don't see that'll kill you.
Yeah. The jellyfish is pretty bad up there. I can't remember what they're called, but I've seen I don't know if you call it a school, but I've seen a bunch of them, and I was like, yeah.
I don't know what a collective of jellyfish is, actually.
Yeah, I don't either. Can we get a Google on that? Collection
we can.
of jellyfish.
We can. What is a collection of jellyfish?
A collection of jellyfish.
A mob?
A group of jellyfish is called what? What is a group of jellyfish called? It's called.
Have you guys been stung by multiple jellyfish at a time?
It's called a bloom, or a swarm, or a smack.
A smack, that is so appropriate. It's like a smackdown.
Fucking hell. A bloom of jellyfish, a swarm, or a smack of jellyfish.
So have you swum through a swarm of jellyfish? So, I mean, you fucking know it. So I used to swim out in the sort of southeast beaches a lot with my surfing mates, and for some reason I just refused to wear it. Like, I don't like the feel of a wetsuit on my body, so I'd refuse to wear it. And we'd go out almost every weekend. Like, this is one of my best mates when I was growing up, and all of his older brothers were surfing. So we'd go down Boomers, we'd go down Horseshoe Bay, like, just get the best surf there was. But the downside was, as soon as you hit sort of sundown, like the sun setting, all the jellyfish would come out and you're fucked. So I remember swimming, like, I was bodyboarding through Boomers and getting fucking smashed. Like, it was great fun, like, getting absolutely ripped. But then I swam through, like, an absolute shit ton of jellyfish and got absolutely fucking destroyed.
Did you piss on yourself?
Well, no, my mate pissed on me. Like,
yes.
I shit you not.
First golden shower.
Because it fucking hurt, man. And it was like, I think we counted 15 or 16 stings across my arms and my legs. And it's like...
And a piss fetish was
like
born.
Oh, dude, I was after the warmth and
You've
after
been
the
copping
love.
urine to the face ever since, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. He was aiming for my legs, but I said, please just go into my mouth. And he obliged. And that was where my piss play started. I mean, it's an early stage thing. So
On your knees with your tongue out.
Yeah, there was a funnel involved. There was things.
I'm guessing this is a thing.
No, do you know, like pissing on the jellyfish, it actually helps.
No, it does. It's allegedly that fixes it.
I'll take your word for it.
The acid in your urine neutralizes the sting, and
I'll take your word for it. I'll just deal with the stinging.
Do you know what? Have faith, Josh, because if you ever got stung, I would very happily piss and shit on you.
I will drink a litre of cola and piss on you.
I'll fucking jizz on you as well if you want some fucking soothing.
Do you know what? I think you need the trifecta: piss, jizz, and cum,
and blood,
and spit. As a quad
and
thing
shit
going on.
and blood.
Let's just make it a top deck.
This is exactly every liquid
We will
that can
piss,
be
shit, jizz, and bleed on
exactly every liquid that can be extracted from a human body will be sent.
you. That is how much we love you.
Good to know.
We will
that.
save your life.
It's good to know that
Even
you've got my
female
back.
ejaculate all over your face. Ryan has plenty of that.
Caleb's the only
In
one
his
that can
beard.
give you that.
Yeah, I'll wring it out from my beard and put it on you. Boom, motherfucker. I think it's time we move on, actually. Speaking of female ejaculate in my beard, and what a perfect segue into this week's
ND.
Negligent discharge.
I tell a lie, that was the worst segue ever, but I just felt the need to move things along because we have cracked the fucking record. We're over 3 hours.
Oh, what?
Holy fuck.
Fuck, doesn't sound like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Does it feel like 3 hours? But I don't know.
It feels like it.
Look, time flies when you're having fun.
Correct. Enjoy. And if you don't like it, fucking switch off. Done.
True
Right.
that.
Right, this week's ND involved a trip away recently in January.
Hang on. Did you say a trip away or a trip away?
No, he's not talking about tripping on shrooms, man.
I mean, is that not the same thing, just said with different spacing between the words?
Probably.
I'm confused. A trip away.
we went away together collectively, and
Yes.
we were sleeping in swags. Now, the ND I speak of involved a prank played on Ryan. Now,
Yeah.
I was not aware of this prank. I don't know who actually was the instigator. I don't know who actually played the prank, but
I don't know because I didn't know until we were walking over.
all right. So Josh and I did not know that this prank was being.
I think Haydog was the instigator.
Okay,
Big
so-
shout out to Hayden, the big man, the lifeblood of fuckery.
Okay, so we're all sitting around. It's like just gone on nightfall. There's a bit of a commotion.
I was literally having a beer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting
Literally.
down having a beer too, and then there's a bit of a commotion. Everyone's gone, hey, fucking come over here. Ryan's shouting out, bloody something's going on. There's a fucking snake. Shit. I'm like, all right, what do I do? It's dark. I need a torch. So I've gone in to get my torch, and as I've got my torch and walked out, Hayden's come over to me and gone, oi, it's a prank. I'm like,
No,
oh.
look, let's set the scene. So I've ran into everyone and gone, I need a torch and a shotgun,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then ran away.
Yeah, you asked for a shotty.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just telling it from my side, and all I heard was a commotion, and I need a torch. So I've gone and got a torch. Come out. Hayden's gone. It's a prank. So I'm like, okay, cool. I've got my torch. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Now we've all walked over to your single swag, which for some fucking reason you've set up well away from everyone else. And
Yeah, because everyone stores like a fucking train.
yeah, but the rest of us are in a shaded area, and you've just set yourself up in full sunlight. Anyway, that's a digression on its own. So your swag is set apart from everyone else. We've all rocked up, gathered around. I've got my torch in hand. Now, what we've seen, the scene of the crime, is a snake skin hanging out the zip of your single swag.
Yeah, and I fucking shat myself, right? To set the scene prior to what you're saying. So I've gone and, like, you've got my single swag. Yep, no worries. She's taut, zipped up, no worries. I've changed my Dax. I've put my pants on. I've gone to unzip my swag to get into it. And then there's like this, like the back end tail of a shed from a snake hanging out that looks like, and like the swag looks like there's weight in the middle of it. It's like pushing the rest of it down. So those who have a single swag will know that you put your guy ropes down and then it puts tension across the swag. So the swag itself looked like there was something with weight pushing down in the center of it. I didn't know this at the time, but it was like a slack in one of the lines, and then there was a bit of shed hanging out right on the zip. But I got onto the other zip beforehand. So there's a zip on either side of the swag. I've undone one of them all the way down, gone to the other side to undo it, and there's the back end of a snake shed hanging out the other side of it. And I was like, no.
So
No fucking way.
In your mind, a snake has slithered into your swag and shed its skin along the way.
No, so like I had the fly net done up, but I'd left a gap in the canvas. So in my mind, I'd gone, there's a fucking snake that has crawled up and is curled up, sitting on the fly net underneath the canvas. And judging by the skin, it was a fucking brown. And I'm like, I am not getting in that fucking thing. And that was when I came to you guys being like, I need a fucking torch, I need a fucking shotgun. Let's go.
Okay.
Now.
I'm going to set the scene as well. This is all plausible. Like, this is all possible.
Of course it's plausible.
It's possible out there. Like,
it's a well orchestrated.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'd seen a snake that day. So I was shitting my pants going, holy fuck, there's a goddamn brown in my fucking swag. And I'm like, and by this point, I was beyond, like, I was tired, man. I was so fucking tired. I just wanted to go to bed. So I'm undoing my swag, and then I see this fucking shed, and it wasn't like it looked like it was just the beginning of a shed that was only like a couple of inches long that come out the back end of the zip, and it looked like it fed up into the full body of a snake. And because it was, and I looked at it, and I was like, because my first thought was, someone's fucking with me here. But then I looked at the swag and it looked like it had been weighed down. And then I was like, there's no one else around. There's no, like, where they've got it from. The probability is
there's a snake in my boots.
It's a fucking snake in my goddamn swag. And that was when I freaked the fuck out. So I've gone, like, run up to everyone and be like, I need a shotgun. I need a fucking torch. Let's go. Boom.
See,
like, stomping on, like,
mind you, Caleb and I weren't privy to the prank. So Caleb's grabbed his torch.
I don't think most of the guys there had no idea because they're like, oh, what's fucking on?
And, like, you know, you could hear the genuine fucking stress in your voice. So, like, Caleb's grabbed his torch. And as we were walking over, Hayden's like, oh, it's a prank. And I'm like, oh, God. But then, like, walking up to it, man, it looked like it was possible. I got a bit. I'm like, I could see how you freaked out.
So well, so fucking well.
It's a good prank.
Like, dude, I shat myself. I'm not gonna lie.
The moral of the story: there was no snake.
There was no snake
in his swag. It was just a skin.
We made sure though that we laid the mayonnaise on the fucking because at this point we've all rocked up. We've gathered around.
Yeah,
we've formed a semicircle. Yeah, Ryan's at his
shotguns
swag.
loaded.
We've got the torch shining on the swag. We've got the cameras out. We've started filming, and this is something we might have a video of that we'll upload.
Oh, no, there's a fucking video of me shitting my fucking pants.
Exactly.
I'm there with a stick ready to fucking poke a cunt.
And look, Hayden's played along quite well, loaded the shotgun, you know, like he's playing along. And we've all, like, realised, obviously Hayden's told us, so, yeah, we've all gone, okay, it's a prank, let's play along. What point?
Oh, mate. When like, I'm like, yep, no worries, I'll be the brave one. I'm like unzipping the swag and going, let's fucking see. And then I zipped it and unzipped it and unzipped it. And I'm like, and then it cottoned on. Like, if I was touching it, the snake would fucking go me. So it's not. And then I went, oh, someone's fucking with me. And then everyone was like, it was like I was surrounded by fucking clowns and everyone started laughing at the same time. Okay.
I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory, actually. The snake probably wouldn't have moved because it was quite cold. And obviously we know that they get a bit of energy with sunbaking. So you probably could have unzipped it and touched it and it not moved and you not realised it was there.
No, like if going off the premise that the skin was still attached back into the snake.
Oh, yeah.
There would have been some sort of movement, but there was nothing. And then I unzipped it and unzipped it some more, and there was nobody. And then I was like, oh, fuck, there's a fucking...
Did you get in your sleeping bag that night?
I've been done.
Did you get in your sleeping bag that night still peeking?
No.
Yeah, I would have been peeking.
Mate, I don't, like, creepy crawlies and that sort of shit don't faze me. I'm like, if I'm going to get bitten, I'm going to get bitten. So...
Snake skin in there.
I don't, like, I've been bitten by most things, except for a whitetail, and I'm like, like, it fucking hurts for a bit, and then you're all good.
All right, well, we'll put the video up and everyone can have a look for themselves. Ryan's reaction, the laugh.
Oh, it's like, let's put the video up and see Ryan shooting himself.
Pretty much. It was a good laugh. Well done, Hayden. A good prank.
No, do you know what? I take my hat off to Hayden because that was a fucking quality prank.
I feel like that set the premise. That and...
Very well executed.
Yeah.
Very well executed.
It was. And I'm happy that you were the...
Do you know what, mate? Like, I think we need more of that. Like, because you're out there, like, constantly looking for the things that are going to kill you, and then, like, it creates that sort of, you like, relax. Like, once you see it, you relax, you're all good. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Or people don't sleep at night.
Well done.
Speaking of relaxing, let's...
I'm going to go relax my sphincter because I need to piss. Let's wrap this up. Yeah.
So, how can people find us, my friends? How can people find us?
Well, they can look with their eyes. You might be able to smell one of us. I don't know who, but if not,
I'm very stinky at all times.
You can jump on Send It Mate podcast on all the major podcast platforms.
Wherever you get your podcast, you'll find us.
And Instagram, Send It Mate.
Send It Mate podcast on Instagram, or send us an email, senditmatepodcast@gmail.com.
If you want us to talk about something and chew the fat, let us know. Send us an email and we will fucking pull that thing apart.
One of us is always on the grams, or the grams or the Facebook. One of us is always on the socials. So if you want to talk about something, hit us up. If you want advice or you've got a question or you want a fucking shout out, hit us up if you want a shout out because we will shout out to you. Like we're very much about community. So just say something and one of us will respond.
We're on Facebook as well.
Yeah. Ain't no one on Facebook, bro. That's a dead platform.
We're just covering.
I'm on Facebook.
We're just covering
the metaverse.
we're just covering those people with the old technology.
Fucking get up.
Covering all bases.
Get up to fucking date.
Anyway,
all right, you good dude and dudettes. That's us. Let's wrap it up. We have fucking talked your ear off for 3 hours. Let's call it.
Do you know what? Before we go, I'm going to say to everyone who has listened this far, send us in your topics.
Yeah, they're not going to.
So, hey?
They're not going to.
Oh, well, they might. They've gone this far. For next season, we need new topics for interpretation between the three of us. So, send us in your episode titles, and then we will definitely take that and run with it.
Get our creative juices flowing. That's it for us. That's a wrap. Catch yous later.
Catch ya.
Peace out, people. It's always fun.
Shut
Bye.
the fuck up, Ryan.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that It'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.